There was an idea called the Ultimate Universe. The idea was to bring together a group of remarkable creators, see if they could make Marvel something more, see if they could work together when we needed them to tell the stories nobody else could. Take the characters we love and reintroduce them into a modern age without the baggage of 40 years of publishing history. This idea became reality, and it quickly caught fire, igniting a comic book industry that desperately needed rejuvenation and changing the landscape of comic books and film forever. This is the Ultimate Universe Deep Dive, Part 1.
I thought you were talking about New 52 there for a second.
Wow.
We already done it. Already did it. That's in the rear view.
In the bag.
In the bag. Today is all about the Ultimate Universe.
Mhm.
Ultimate August begins now.
There we go.
Yes, thank you so much.
I love it.
We have, of course, the usual cast. Marco.
Ultimately Celsiatic.
Alrighty then. We've got Tyler.
You're ruining your own catchphrase, Marco. You gotta keep the normal catchphrase going for it to catch on.
Kale said, "What's up, hot dogs?" for like 3 years before he threw a curveball.
And there was a podcast that would do that for another 10 years previous to this.
There you go. And joining us to have the conversation about the Ultimate Universe, kicking off Ultimate August, there's no one else I'd rather have here with us today other than comic book writer extraordinaire, the hardest working man in comics, Victor Dandridge is here with us. Thank you so much.
Yo. My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, did any of you guess accurately what the inspiration was behind my opening statement? I know Victor got it.
Okay. I'm just listen. I felt it. The moment you started talking. I felt it.
I don't know.
Feige?
Is it Feige? You're so close. You're so
No.
close.
It's Oppenheimer.
It's not Oppenheimer. I did not get on here and quote Oppenheimer.
Should have.
Okay.
Should have. What is it, Victor?
So maybe I'm wrong, but I felt the presentation, the inference of a very smooth Sam Jackson, Nick Fury setting up the Avengers Initiative. That was it was so good. Like the moment you started talking, I was like, I see what he's doing there.
That's exactly what it was.
Was it end of Avengers 1? Or
It's the rally speech that he gives. Yeah.
Okay. Damn, it's been so long since I've seen that movie.
Yeah.
I just took took it and tweaked it just a little bit.
Yeah, no, you gave well.
Thank you. So we have a whole bunch of stuff to talk to you guys about regarding the Ultimate Universe. I'm happy to see all of you here. So many of you already showed up. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Share with us in the chat your memories of the Ultimate Universe, your favorite books, all that good stuff. We're leaving 616 today. We're going into 1610 Marvel that began in the bygone era of the year 2000.
So saying the year 2000 kind of still feels futuristic. It's just the words "the year 2000" in the year 2000.
It's crazy.
You're not wrong.
A quarter a century ago.
Exactly. That's gross. I feel attacked right now.
It's kind of crazy. Okay, so let's kick things off. There are a few sources and resources that I will use throughout this. So right up front, I want to say thank you to Comic-Con, who always provide incredible numbers and facts and statistics about the history of the comic book industry. So huge shout out to them. Shout out to Bleeding Cool, Rich Johnson. Shout out to Slate.com, who did a fantastic write-up about the Ultimate Universe. Shout out to Marvel Unlimited for giving us the ability to go back and read these books, which some of them are very hard to find in physical these days.
Yeah, you're having to read digital, Sean. Welcome to it.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I am reading digital fully for this project, and I'm loving life.
Hmm.
I'm
I
loving
get
life.
that iPad next.
No.
They're trying to convert you, bro.
Nah, that's not gonna happen. Physical forever. Physical forever. So all right. We're gonna start with the why. Why did there need to be an ultimate universe? And if you've been listening to this show for a while, if you've been following the comic book industry for a while, then you know that the 90s started off amazing and was the height of comic book sales, the height of comic book uh, interest in the public space, and how quickly that all fell apart. I did a deep dive about it, the history of the direct market, if you guys want to check that out. But just to catch you up, Comic-Con estimates that the sales of comic books in 1993 were between 800 and 850 million dollars. So nearly $1 billion industry in the 90s, adjusted for inflation. I'm sure then you get into the $1 billion territory, however
Sure.
that works. With 48 million comics sold to the direct market. That is a massive number. 48 million comics in the direct market in 1993. Incredible stuff. That's just comic shops. However, this was actually the start of the decline. By 1999, which is just 6 years later, the direct market sales had dwindled to an abysmal $219 million. That is a collapse
Gross.
in any sense of the word.
That's gross.
Yeah.
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 Can I just jump in with that
please,
though?
Please.
Because I think it's very important for people to understand that when you say direct sale or sales to the direct market, that is from publisher, distributor to retailers, not from retailers to consumers, because we don't actually have those numbers, because that's not the way things were ever cataloged, partly because when it came to back issues, it allowed for an influx of value to go up, down, and that wasn't something that was actually recorded from retailers to consumers. So just so that everyone that's watching understands that this was a pipeline that actually went from publisher through retail, but then stops in terms of its official designation of cost, value, and things like that, because that's the last time where the price points were set versus evaluations allowing for things to grow or decline in value.
Thank you for adding that context. That
Gotcha.
is exactly why you're here. It's important for people to understand that fact. And again, we talked about that in the direct market deep dive, but certainly not all of you heard that. So that is excellent context. Real quick, Atomic Hound dropping the $9.99 on us says deep dive equals the most immersive comics discussion on the internet. Let's go. Thank you so much.
Let's go.
And then he follows up with not a super chat, but he says, and 150 million of that was from me. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
I believe it. I believe it.
Sean, you're telling me there was a sales decline when all they were doing was pumping out variants, and then Heroes Reborn was happening?
Well, geez. I mean, it's almost as if there was this little old character named Superman that died, and got resurrected within 1 year and pissed off a whole lot of folk. It's not the cause of the crash, but it definitely contributed. Now, Kenneth Williams with the $4.99 says, thank you so much, brother. I can't wait for this breakdown, especially to hear how you guys viewed it, because this was the Marvel I was born into. Dude, for so many of us, that's the truth, brother.
Wild.
Yeah.
So wild.
Yeah. We're in the Wayback Machine. And those super chats are doing something that has never happened here on this channel before. We've got 2 new functions today that I think you guys are going to absolutely adore. You guys are always gracious with your super chats, so nothing is changing on that front. But what is happening is you're getting more for them. So now, if you'll notice, there's a goal in the chat. Teal super chats 10 or more is going to trigger a brand new game called the Greatest of All Time game, the GOAT game. I think you guys are going to absolutely love it. That will happen at the end of the show if we reach the goal. So we just pretty much need 10 super chats to reach that goal. But when we get super chats of $9.99 or more, what that does is it triggers Tyler back there to grab that wheel that you've seen for weeks that we haven't used and spin it. And whatever it lands on, we're going to do. So since Atomic Hound already dropped a $9.99 super chat, why don't we go ahead and spin that wheel?
All right, I got it.
And we'll bank that.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry, the cat was on my lap. And I had to
spin that wheel.
I want to see what it's going to land on.
There's still a couple open spots, so if it lands there, we'll
it's all right.
Yeah. All right. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? Is it in the shot? Is it in the frame? And in the frame? Nope. There we go.
What's it?
Do you know your pals?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna bank that because I want to remain focused on the deep dive.
All right.
But do you know your pals is now banked. It's now banked, and I'll explain how it's going to work in a little bit. All right. So things were so bad for Marvel in 1999 that they were selling furniture. They were selling basically anything not nailed down in the studio, in the offices, because they just could hardly keep the lights on. And after being the undisputed king of comics forever, DC actually overtook them in sales. It's unbelievable, unprecedented, but it did happen because Marvel had tried multiple strategies that didn't work. Heroes Reborn, notably, was a failure. They tried to bring back the excitement that they had lost, and it just didn't seem like it was happening. There was just something lacking behind the scenes. And again, not because they weren't trying to be different. Heroes Reborn didn't land. They tried something called this is one of those areas where I guarantee you're going to hear things that you've never heard of before. How many people here on the panel, in the chat, have heard of Spider-Man Chapter 1? Of course.
Is that Marvel filing Chapter 1? Because of it?
They filed that 11 times. So.
Yeah.
11 volumes then.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So why don't you, since you know it, tell the people what Chapter 1 was?
So again, the idea of the amount of time that had passed from the origins of these characters, so much had happened. I mean, literally, you had, the 80s, you had the internet actually occur. So what they were attempting to do were to tell kind of those origin stories with a fresh voice and new context of sorts, which is interesting because we kind of see that happen with the MCU. They were able to kind of perfect it in movies, but the first attempts at doing so were in books, and it just wasn't quite the same because it was still trying to contextualize a lot of things that happened in the 60s with like a new modern take that wasn't the greatest. It just wasn't strong.
I feel like they tried something similar in the 2010s with like their graphic novels. They were doing like almost year one type stuff too.
Right. Season one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Season 1.
Now, just out of curiosity, and this is totally dating me. Am I the old man of the group? Like, is that accurate? I was reading comics at the time of these things happening. Were you guys reading comics?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I was reading Captain Underpants, if that gives you any context.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I just needed to know that. I got you.
Now, the creator behind Spider-Man Chapter 1 was none other than the legendary John Byrne, who wrote and drew it. And I read Chapter 1, at least the first chapter of Chapter 1. And I think it's exactly like reading the first issue. Like, it's fine. It's the art's great and everything. It didn't work because of exactly what it is. It's a very, very talented, very well-established creator who's already got decades of work in the industry retelling the origin of Spider-Man. It is not the origin of Spider-Man in a modern context from a fresh, young creative team.
Right.
He
was an old dude. He was an old dude. Like, respectfully.
To put into video game terms, it was a remaster, not a remake.
it's a remake. I mean, it's definitely got a different tone, like because it knows what it's going to be. The tone is darker. Even in the first issue, it's a little heavier. In my opinion, it doesn't work.
I don't think it's just your opinion, bro. Well, that wasn't just you. That wasn't just you.
And Byrne had been long off X-Men at this time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. This is when Byrne was probably still drawing his Elsewhen that he eventually releases on his Tumblr that were a little interesting.
Yeah. It was coming out, actually.
I'm very surprised about that, yeah.
Yeah.
But the sales of this were okay. Fan interest was okay, but ultimately it didn't do what it needed to do. Now, Marvel was willing to do another volume. Byrne said no. He wasn't interested. So the project was ultimately scrapped. And we didn't get any more, as far as I know. Now, Marvel needed a big play. What were they going to do? Enter Bill Jemas. Bill Jemas graduated from Harvard. He worked as a tax attorney. He worked for the NBA. And the thing that he did for the NBA that was so critical was he revitalized their basketball card business.
Clearing upper deck, baby.
Yep. It was fledgling. He made it a multi-million-dollar money-making machine. That led him to being the president of Fleer, who produced trading cards in '93, and then and Fleer was owned by Marvel Entertainment at the time. He would become the sort of publisher and the president of Marvel Comics in 2000. He was full of ideas that would help change the trajectory of Marvel. Chief among them was bringing on Joe Quesada as the editor-in-chief. Joe Quesada, of course, a very, very talented artist, someone who had shown his artistic side throughout the 90s, one of the stars of the 90s, of the mid to late 90s, but whose mind for comics was almost greater than his artistic talent.
I can't disagree with that. I cannot. He is a phenomenal talent, like without question. But with what especially him and Jimmy Palmiotti were able to do with Marvel Knights, leading up to the 2000s was absolutely incredible. That was a huge venture, and big shout out to the heads that were moving out of favor at Marvel for putting them in place, because the experience of Heroes Reborn did not totally kill their vibe. Which do you guys know how that came about? Like what exactly Heroes Reborn kind of was?
Storyline wise or publishing wise?
A little bit of both. Like the behind the scenes was basically that they pulled back two of the Image founders to kind of revitalize those particular classic Marvel characters, and it didn't work, which I think is such an interesting statement, because so much of the Image foundation was the idea that the creators mattered just as much, if not more, than the characters. And they pulled two of the, I will argue, most influential, recognizable creators from Image, being Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee. And I think Will Spertasio came back as well to work with that. But like, it did not move the needle. So does that mean that the Image foundational like ideology isn't true? Is it like what exactly is the statement therein? But at any rate, after that didn't work, for them to go back to the well and allow again another outside party to kind of take over, because Joe and Jimmy had Event Comics, and they basically commissioned them to take over what the Marvel Knights imprint was going to be. And so they moved into Marvel's offices to basically run Marvel Knights, which is crazy. It's like inviting a third party to come in and do that, or how they were doing with like Boom Studios to have them do like kid-friendly comic versions of Marvel Comics characters. Very interesting.
And that's risky from a business standpoint to have a third party, because then you're putting at risk your IP, you're putting at risk like the way that you put it out. But But the on the flip side of that, it's also smart to know when you have to pick the right person to do something.
Yes.
I mean, at least Heroes Reborn gave us the most iconic image of Captain America.
Well,
But the Marvel Knight side of things really revitalized like Daredevil, but also a whole subset of Marvel characters.
Right.
That, you know, like when you see how good it did, it kind of makes sense that you want to take that guy and help him spearhead the rest of the rest of the line.
Absolutely.
But that context is very valuable because what you understand about Heroes Reborn is that again they were looking to the past to dictate and change the future. And in comics, that tends not to context for the kind of man that Bill Jemas is. Bill is a live wire. This guy has no filter. He doesn't give a fuck. He will say what he thinks. He likes to provoke. He was smart. He is smart. He's not dead. He is smart. He is capable. If you guys are familiar with AWA, he helped launch AWA, Artists, Writers, and Artists.
It's funny. He was a family friend of my high school girlfriend.
Wow.
Really?
And her dad was saying how he's a fun guy, is the way it was described. Never got to meet him though.
Oh.
Yeah.
In a non-business capacity, I can see how someone would feel he was very fun, for sure. But here's an interview that Bill did. And again, I wanted to include this because I think the context of Bill is very important. And this will give you an idea of where his head was at in the 2000s. How does one go about becoming president of the biggest comic book publisher in the world? Tell us a little bit about the road to this point. This is my second tour of duty at Marvel. In the early 90s, when Marvel owned Fleer, I ran Fleer's entertainment and sports card business. It was great until Marvel senior management went on a spectacular stupidity binge, buying up anything they could at obscenely overinflated prices. It was pretty clear to me that they were steering us into an iceberg, doing everything they could to keep the stock price up, even if it meant impaling the hull on a wall of ice. The ship was going down into bankruptcy. I ran for the lifeboats. I came back in January of 2000 with a couple of points to prove. He was asked, what comics or creators did you follow before getting into this industry? And Bill, in very dramatic fashion. On the one hand, for the past 10 years, all of Marvel's fanboy executives have failed because they couldn't get over their fanboy likes and dislikes, or because they were dumber than dirt. On the other hand, for the past 10 years, all of Marvel's entertainment business executives have failed because they couldn't get up the energy to immerse themselves in comic book creative, or because they were dumber than dirt. We are going to stop writing comics about comics and start telling stories about our world in 2001 and beyond. Marvel is moving toward a hyper creative atmosphere. Instead of fitting books into small spaces left in ye old continuity, we are going to tackle interesting, important, and entertaining contemporary issues. That's it right there.
Mandate met, man. Mandate met.
Like that.
Absolutely.
There's there's an interview with Len Wein. I'm forgetting what it is, but one of the key pieces of it is a lot of the generation that came up in the 80s that led into the 90s was all about like fans writing about the books that they love, right? And so that note on we're looking about writing comics. We're writing comics about comics, right? It's the fandom writing for itself because it knows what it wants and it wants to explore these ideas, and all the creators that have historically been around are going to continue to be around. But that's not what you fell in love with in the start. You fell in love with the characters, right? You fell in love with the ways that they interacted, the ways that they existed in the world. And so it's interesting for him to say that, because it's just like it comes back to, you need to make the books about the people behind the masks, and then the masks kind of follow, and then you can build out your world and do your superheroics, etc.
Totally agree.
Chat suggests that we're having audio issues.
Uh-oh.
I'm checking on my end. I'm not seeing any issues on my end. I hear it fine on the other version I have open. So
okay,
just do a refresh if you can.
Gotcha.
All right, we'll carry on then. And we'll take this quick moment to address the super chats that are already coming in fast and furious. We're halfway to the goal already, folks.
Nice.
And again, $4.99 or greater super chats triggered towards the goal. We're halfway there already. Thank you, regardless of your super chat amount. Thank you, regardless if you can super chat or not, just for being here. You guys are amazing. Sylph Stevenson says, with the $2, says, here's mine for the ad blocker. Thank you so much.
It all counts.
Yes. Entertain me with the $5. Here's some money to help you reach your goal. This will be a chat on the LG Ultimate Universe. Happy times are here again.
Love it.
Thank you, entertain me. We live to entertain you, brother.
Absolutely.
Lucas Heatwave Holner with the $4.99. We are reaching that goal. Reading Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 4 Omni right now. Gonna crack the death open later. Crack that death open. Yeah. Samuel Summers with the 5 spot. Hello, Comics Pals. I am excited for this show. By the way, huge shout out to Samuel Summers. He's the reason we're doing this. Remember, 2 months ago, Samuel dropped a 50 spot on us because he wanted us to talk about Ultimate Spider-Man and the Ultimate Universe. So that's why we're here. Thank you.
Big ups, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Rami Darwish with the 2 spot. Heroes Reborn changed the human anatomy forever.
Push the bounds of what was physically possible. It gave us a new interpretation.
It made a husky child like me accept my moves.
Oh my God. Wow. That's funny. You know, hey, look, Tyler, you're not alone. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
It's true.
Had moves his whole life until he got a surgery. He got a breast reduction.
Really?
Yes, absolutely facts. If you look at The Rock in 1998, 97, his body is amazing, but you can tell he's got a chest on him. And then there's a period of time where he only wears like track suits and stuff because he's covering up the fact that he just got a boob job.
What?
I might go in the other direction. That seems more fun.
Be like Cap.
I go more.
Yeah. Rob Liefeld.
Yeah, I get to play my own. It's awesome.
He gave Cap those double D's. And Amin Perez with the 10 euro. Didn't Bill Jemas try to rewrite the Old Testament? LMAO, young me loved Ultimate Silver Sable by Bagley. Don't ask why. Oh, I know why. I know exactly
why.
We
know why. We know why. Yeah. That French curve. Oh, he was using that. Absolutely.
Can't wait for that Silver Sable movie.
Silver and Black.
Yeah, can't wait.
Definitely coming. Okay. So we understand the kind of man who Bill Jemas was, but I want Tom Brevoort to tell us what kind of man he thinks Bill Jemas was. Tom Brevoort, of course, the editor extraordinaire at Marvel. He's been there for well over 20 years. So if anybody would know who Bill was, Tom would. And so this is what Tom Brevoort had to say. Bill is a very smart, very sharp guy. He knows a lot about a lot. And when he's in a good function mode, he was very good at cutting through the red tape and BS in the field, and was good at saying, why not? When something was an institutionalized belief in the field that you can't do this or that, he definitely had an interest in the comic book field. And he could be, at times, a generous and reasonable cat. But he was a fucking monster and a bully and a tyrant and mercurial. He created a work environment that was as bad as I can imagine. And Tom Brevoort said that during the Comic Book Historians podcast on YouTube. Great job over there from the boy.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
I mean, that quote that you had of Jemas earlier, where Marco was like, yeah, that sounds good. He's calling people idiots and dummies that he works with.
That's wild, dude.
I mean,
toxic.
But he meant it though. Like at least it was.
He said it with his whole Liefeld chest.
Yeah. Like he wasn't just saying it to be like silly or funny or pointed in the moment. He meant it because he did have or does have a great mind for business. And when he saw the writing on the wall that things weren't going in the right direction, he either called it out, was ignored, and then dipped because he's like, I'm not going down with you. Like I told you this was dumb. Like, don't do this. So I kind of, you got to respect someone. It's very, like, he's very Steve Jobs of the comic industry. Like, that's who I would equate him to. Yeah.
Apparently likes black shirts too. So
I mean, yes, big shout out to Tom Brevoort. I was sitting with him at a panel in San Diego last week, and it was great. Like, I just love Tom. Like, he's the greatest guy.
A quick question: is the hat removable or is it stuck there? Like, is it permanent?
He has switched out hats, but he's always wearing a hat.
Okay.
He's always wearing a hat. Like,
Man, I couldn't.
I don't think I've ever
always
seen him
wearing
without a hat. I'm guilty of it.
Yeah, me too.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, come on.
Victor, what panel was that?
Let's see. Tales from my spinner rack. We got these awesome buttons, by the way, and these were some guys that were showing off their favorite Kirby comic covers, and so it was very like historic look. And Tom was just sitting in the back, and I'm like, I'm sitting next to Tom. Like, this is amazing. Like, absolutely. And yeah, he's just awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. Was that your first time meeting him, by the way?
No. I've taken pictures with Tom like a bunch of times. I'm probably like one of those weird like fans that is a fan of him. So like whenever I see him, I speak. But as an editor who, he doesn't normally get that, I'm sure, because he just kind of like literally in this room, he's sitting in the back. Nobody was sitting with him. Like, no one paid attention to who he was. And I'm like, you're Tom Brevoort. I want to sit with you. Like, it was, that was me.
I didn't know there were group editor groupies.
That's me.
I am.
Yep.
I'm a
Cool.
big fan of Tom. Cool. Hell yeah. Absolutely. So Bill took the idea for the Ultimate Universe from Wizard Magazine. Someone at Wizard suggested that there should be a reboot to every character at Marvel. Continuity was a big problem for people. And we talk about continuity and how it affects, people's perception of comics and everything like that. And I think that today, in today's Marvel and DC, things are a lot easier to follow because they're paying a lot more attention to the fact that this was a problem. But in the 90s, people just weren't thinking that way. And so there wasn't always a clear way to follow comics. And remember, there wasn't a massive backlog of trades. Wikipedia wasn't a thing. You couldn't just find out what you didn't know. So if you missed out on what happened in the X-Men 5 years ago, you were not going to find out. That's it. You just weren't going to know.
You just got to read.
Yeah.
Get yourself integrated. Different style back then.
And getting integrated wasn't even something that was always in your power. Because if you couldn't hunt down the year's worth of comics that you missed, again, not only could you not read them, who was going to tell you what happened?
You're coming in like in the middle of the third arc of like a who knows what saga of something.
Right.
Very true.
And it's funny, but like the internet is also still burgeoning at this time period. So almost the fix was coming in a way where people can Wikipedia these things and and find things that way. But like not really much trades. There was no internet. There's no maybe your local library has like a copy of the Encyclopedia of Marvel. I don't know, like, but you wouldn't have any way of knowing this besides word of mouth.
Can I tell you guys the first-hand approach to how I learned as much as I did when I got started in the early 90s? And I think this kind of fits with Bill Jemas's impact. It was the cards, the trading cards that they came up with that had different, attributes of characters, different storylines, things like that. Those were our Wikipedia back then. And that was such an interesting sort of concept to even rationalize it now. We were getting little snippets of history that we couldn't necessarily go back and find in order to appreciate what we were reading right then and there. So I think that's a huge benefit that we got from Jemas's career in trading cards and all that fun stuff. And think about how many of those trading cards went on to become true collector's items in addition to the comics that they were representing.
It's funny how Ryan North wrote Squirrel Girl's characterization to that's how she learns about Marvel Universe characters too, is through trading cards. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Because we all did.
I collected the cards way before I started reading comics. That's crazy. Yeah. You're absolutely right about that. Those were pivotal.
Yeah, Banksy made in the chat. Yep, I collected cards before I started reading comics.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, good point.
Wild to me.
And so, okay, now there's an idea, right? And originally it was called Ground Zero, which is a dreadful name, but that's
It is
what.
now.
So in
Yeah,
2000
imagine. Oh God.
In 2000, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
very smart name in 2000.
Oof.
A year later, snatched.
Well, a year later, Doom is crying.
Oh my God, dude! Imagine if they would have gone with that. Whoo, dodged a bullet.
Man, Spider Sense tingled. And it was like,
Yeah.
what about Ultimate? I like that better.
Yeah. And Joe Quesada wanted to do a new universe with all new characters. He said he would have rather done Spider-Man's nephew than do, a reboot of the comics. But what they came up with as a way to have your cake and eat it too was, all right, we won't get rid of what we've been doing. That was a part of the problem with Heroes Reborn. We'll keep what we've been doing in continuity. We're going to create a new universe outside of continuity where these characters can start fresh. And if you think about it, for Marvel and DC, what could be better than that?
Right.
When Spider-Man was first created, when Fantastic Four, when Iron Man, when Superman, Wonder Woman, there wasn't necessarily the idea that they would let last in perpetuity for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. If you could take a step back and look at everything that has ever happened to Spider-Man and know where it goes and start from day one, what would you do? That's a powerful position.
Rewrite it all the same.
Yeah. And to be fair, like that 20-year sort of changeover piece was something that they were innately aware of. Like from the golden age to the silver age was approximately 20 years, right? And so from the silver age to the modern age, I think that's why we had the makings of Jim Shooter's, the late great Jim Shooter's New Universe initiative, being that concept of, hey, there's 20 years, that's a lot of stuff that people have to know. Let's give them something brand new. And I think the Ultimate Universe was the perfect combination of taking the lessons learned from New Universe as well as the Marvel Universe and saying, let's just start this over, not like without, killing what happened before, but let's get a new take of this right now, because there's so much that has changed since these things first started. So let's put those two very classic Marvel history moments together and see what happens, which is brilliant.
It's funny you mentioned New Universe in 2025 when we're seeing the beginnings of those characters coming back into the fold. I think in October or something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
It's all a cycle, right? It's all a cycle. And so Joe Quesada was tasked with figuring out who to get for this, for this launch of the Ultimate Universe, and he recommended somebody who we will all be familiar with. He recommended Brian Michael Bendis, who at that time was in his early 30s. He first wanted to create comics when he was 13 years old. He would do nothing but create comics from that moment forward. Some of his early work includes stuff like Jinx, Torso. He did Sam and Twitch for Todd McFarlane at Image. Powers, of course, which is celebrating its 25th anniversary, I think, this year, which is incredible. Joe Quesada initially invited Bendis to pitch a story for the Marvel Knights line, but nothing materialized out of that. However, when it was time to seek creators for Ultimate Spider-Man, Joe recommended Bendis to Bill, who signed Bendis onto the position of writer for Ultimate Spider-Man. Now, we all love Bendis. At this time, Bendis was what I would consider to be an indie darling. The way we would have talked about Dennis Camp before, the Ultimate line started, the way we would have talked about Hickman before he started working for Marvel, Bendis was that guy. So to get him to do Ultimate Spider-Man was a risk, is not necessarily the right word. He wasn't a proven commodity in the direct market space. Yeah, in the big leagues. He hadn't been proven yet. And so this is what Bendis had to say about his early days at Marvel. Yeah, when I was hired by Joe Quesada years ago, my worry at first was like, well, am I going to get to write the way I want to write? And I think because of the timing of our move in, because Marvel was just coming out of bankruptcy, things were at their lowest there. They were much more open to the idea of people with voices, people putting their foot down, doing something legitimately expressive, honest writing. And it paid off for them, which is great news. Like, who knew if that would pay off? But it did. And I got hired to write Daredevil off a book that was selling barely 2,000 copies. And they didn't even blink at me, just doing what I wanted to do. And I think that bravery, I was thrilled when it was rewarded and hoped it should be rewarded again. Mm-hmm. Bendis said those words during a Multiversity Comics interview in 2010.
Can I also throw out that when Bendis took over that Daredevil run, for almost the first time in Daredevil's history, he outsold Spider-Man. And so because he kind of shifted the iconography of it all, where people were more associating like Daredevil with Marvel than Spider-Man, he was the obvious choice to kind of right that ship of saying like Spider-Man is our marquee character. If there's anybody that's going to put him back up, it's the guy that managed to topple him from that number one spot. So it's such a very wise, introspective, sort of move to go, you're the guy that beat me. Let me put you over here or with my team to bring me back up. Like, that's so smart.
And I'd have to also assume the fact that the Spider-Man movie would have been in development at this point.
I was getting there. Yeah.
So they would have already known, like, we need Spider-Man in a good spot.
So interestingly, because I'm always bringing up the books here, have you guys checked out MCU: The Reign of Marvel Studios?
No.
Victor, do you think I know how to read books? I read books of pictures.
Listen. I got to give a shout out to our friend of the channel, Rob Jefferson of Comics Explained. He was reading this and was dropping little jewels about it. So I was like, yo, I got to pick this book up. The idea of where things were with the Sony acquisition, this was kind of in the behind the scenes at the same time. And it was Sony kind of deciding that Spider-Man was the one that they wanted. This just kind of was confluence. Like, it wasn't that they were like, oh, Sony's going to do this movie, we need to make Spider-Man a big hit. It just kind of happened at the same time. They weren't even thinking that way. It was, what can we do to kind of bring in new readers? And Sony also having this movie. But the comics literally preceded the movie by like 2 years. That's a long time. Like, that's especially like back then, huge amounts of time.
And Victor, just to address the Daredevil point as well, Bill Jemas would have also seen that. Him being the businessman, seeing, hold on a second, this guy's outselling. We're planning this initiative. That's the guy that I'm putting on. Like, for all of his tact, that would have been the thing of, okay, cool, this is the smart move. I can see the writing on the wall with Daredevil outselling Spider-Man. Boom.
Get this guy.
Yeah.
Well, it's worth pointing out, I think I'm accurate on this. I want to say that Bendis on Daredevil started in 2001.
So, yes, and he started, like, I think that's when it started coming out, but he started working on it in the 2000s. So, like, that was like the first sort of summits that they had. He was in the mix of what they were going to do with that stuff, because it was, I want to say it was David Mack who took over initially from Quesada and Kevin Smith, and Mack and Bendis were really good friends from the Caliber days. And that's kind of how that all kind of flowed into each other.
Yeah, I have here May 2001 was publication.
The reason why I say that is because that Ultimate Spider-Man predates that. So I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page.
I see.
That
Okay.
the sales of Daredevil couldn't have influenced.
Then maybe it was Kevin Smith's run of Daredevil that actually beat it. Is that what it is?
It may be okay. That may be the case.
I feel like there's some time missing here, because I think that, like, Kevin Smith's Daredevil run started in like 98.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's correct.
If you had Guardian Devil started in 98, was it Joe and Jimmy that took over right after, and then David Mack, and then Bendis's run with Alex Maleev started?
It has to be.
I want to say Bendis started with David Mack though. Am I missing that?
Yeah, I'm seeing that here.
Okay.
David Mack, issue 15, and then the Kevin Smith stuff, Guardian Devil one. That's 1 through 8, 8 through 14, and then 15.
Okay.
Him with David Mack.
Listen, I'm old, y'all. It was
Wealth of knowledge.
I don't know. That was kind of like a brain aneurysm right there. Wait, what?
It's okay. This is all so tight because everything is happening. Like you guys were just talking about the Sony, the movie, and the comic. Like all this is converging.
And don't worry, we have our fact check extraordinaire here, Dan Trudeau, saying, "I remember the writing order of Daredevil was Kevin Smith to David Mack to Bob Gale to Bendis."
Okay.
Wow, Bob Gale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go. I was like, I knew I was missing somebody in there.
And that's the truth. So I got to assume he's right on that one. Nobody fact checks Dan Trudeau. Who watches The Watchmen? You know.
And Sean, before you jump back in, addressing Atomic Hounds 999, what Sean is describing is why characters spoke in plot points virtually every issue, so that new readers could figure out what was going on.
Thank you, Hound. That is 1000% accurate, and that's why when I read a comic that does that today, it rubs me the wrong way because you don't have to do that way anymore.
We have Wikipedia.
We have Wikipedia, but what we also have is the magic of a recap page.
Oh, that page one, that internet page.
Yeah.
The internet page.
And if we're lucky, Hickman graphic design sometimes.
Ooh.
Also true.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, do you think that things would have changed or moved faster if the big sales boom of the 90s actually brought readers as opposed to speculative buyers with it, so that people would have read that earlier and been like, oh, we don't like this, please don't do this anymore, and therefore it wouldn't have actually gone in that direction? You know, there was too many sales that were happening without people actually reading the books to know, like, we actually don't appreciate that form of writing.
That's an interesting question. I personally think that style of writing was a necessary evil at the time, because again, there's just no way for you to know what you don't know, and there was no way for the books or the internet or anyone to catch you up unless you happen to have a friend who was reading everything that you weren't reading at the time. So I do think that there was a good reason to write that way. I think some writers were better at it than others, but I do think it should have been that way.
Okay.
Do you have a dissenting opinion? Do you feel differently?
I'm just curious, right? Like, because so I've always been of the mindset that if you are interested enough in the comics format, the totality of understanding all the history of a character is not a necessity. You can pick up something and know enough that you can grab any issue and just keep reading if you want to. Maybe it's in the middle of a story, but you can glean enough based off of what is happening to understand certain things, and maybe you'll learn more as you go. Or like me, you get the trading cards that tell you other facets about the character or setups. So it makes me wonder, like, was there a consideration that was maybe talking down to an audience that by the 2000s we had gotten out of, because the goal was to elevate comics as true literature, and literature cannot talk down to you or walk you through stories like that and still maintain its place as good literature, which I think is one of the things that had been plaguing comics for the longest time in the book format, was because the writing style was a little bit of that hold your hand, let me tell you all the things that you don't already know. People look down on it because it wasn't good storytelling. It was plot narratives, and this is the thing that you need to know to get to this thing, to get to this thing, and it had lost the sight of characterization moving you through a story.
And I think that's what made Knights, good.
Yes.
Yes. Kevin Smith is a screenwriter. As much as I don't really care much for Kevin Smith, personal opinion. Come on, Jorts, really? He would bring a cinematic approach to it.
Right.
Where they don't do that. They have 2 hours, or they have an hour and 30 most of the time to be able to tell a story. Then I can't waste time on that. So less hand holding, and it feels more impactful when you're reading it.
But Victor, to your point, you're asking timeline wise, like you're saying if that transition had happened earlier from the 90s hold your hand to a story character, I think to that end, there was such a volume for variants and those things, that there's probably an elevated amount of actual buyers post retail, right? Like past the retail funnel where that black box, and then you would have been introduced. You probably would have seen a less of a decline and a sharper increase of sales than the harsh fall and then the creeping of readership and sales at that point.
Okay.
If I could just add one more thought to this, television shows did the same thing. If you look at television shows from the 90s, how did they all start? They all had some very long opening that would show you things that had already happened in the show, character moments and things like that, to give you an idea of who these people were, because the assumption was that you might not have seen this. And if you didn't ever see it before, well, you weren't going to see what happened. That was the reruns and things like that wasn't the way television was. So if you missed an episode, that was it. You weren't getting it on DVD. That was it. So I think that kind of storytelling was the way of the time in mediums that were sequential and serial in that way.
Yeah, previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's late 90s though. Like that's 98. Like that's
Buffy's 96. I'm pretty sure.
No, Buffy's 98.
Is you sure it's not?
Either way, we don't have wikis at that point. We don't have
true. But what I'm saying is like this
on demand
framework of writing was very early 90s at the like start of the boom.
Sure.
And so because of that, like that, you know, in that 6-year window, there were so many people that were buying books, but people didn't recognize that they weren't reading books. They were buying it for speculative natures. And so if the idea was if the response to the style or whatever wasn't strong, people wouldn't know because, or the powers that be wouldn't know because they're selling hand over fist. They're not actually getting quality controlled because they're like, no, it's selling. This is how you do it. They had no idea that people were buying it because they were thinking in 10 years, 20 years, this will be worth $1 million. That was really the impetus of the sales, not the actual talent within.
Just on the Buffy piece, you guys can split the difference there. It's actually March 10th, 97.
Wow!
Okay. I think it was in 97, guys.
Good job, sir. Good job.
Well, in any event, I definitely agree that people were not reading these books. There's no way to dispute that.
Right.
We know it.
Were they just large trading cards with multiple trading cards in between?
I mean, they were speculator items. The same way that we rail against that market today. That's what it was. That's what was happening at the time. And these weren't even people who necessarily always had an inclination towards comics. The amount of comic book shops that opened up between 1989 and 1994 is insane.
Crazy.
But what's arguably even more insane is the amount of comic shops that closed between 1995 and 1999. It's ridiculous.
There's like a mass growth and a mass culling.
Yeah.
All at the same time. Like it was,
I can't imagine people picking up Chris Bacalo's Generation X and just not reading it. It's just the new team that they're buying.
Bro, it happened.
I
like
know, but
so bad.
There's like I know people shit on the 90s. There are some really good books in there.
Oh my God. Yeah. Listen, the entirety of Age of Apocalypse is still one of my favorite experiences in comics. Just because in so many ways, again, a precursor to the Ultimate line, you're taking traditional characters that you know and love, a storyline that you know and love, you're altering it and just going buck wild. Do what you want to do. Wolverine having one arm, how? Let's find out. You know, Cyclops has one eye. Why? Let's find out. Like insane goodness.
Cyclops being a Cyclops sounds like the absolute version of Cyclops.
Right? You're like, this is so genius. Dude has one eye now. Like, why did we never think of this?
Just the sales point and like the way that things were I guess productized. This is a Pizza Hut menu.
Joe Mad, baby.
This is what comics were. They were a commodity. They're everywhere. I can sell this stuff. It's a product. That's it. It is not something to read.
And what's funny is too, like when I close my eyes and think of the X-Men, that's what I imagine. You know?
Yeah.
Even though I've read much more X-Men than that era.
Yo, $2.99 for a kid's pizza.
And they were like, hey, let's just redo the entire X-Men for a little side action going on.
Just to mix it up.
By the way, we hit the goal already.
Hey!
Thank you guys so much. That means we're going to get to play our new game later on. You guys are amazing. We hit the goal, and it's not even been an hour. Really, really appreciate you guys showing up and supporting us for everything that we do, and including this new endeavor. Catherine Stars with the 20 spot. Thank you so much, my friend. Morning, pals. Happy Ultimate August. This is going to be an awesome month. Welcome back, Victor. Thanks for all the hard work y'all put into things. Really helps for people with knowledge gaps like me. That's what we're here to do.
That's absolutely it.
Dex Baker here with the $10 saying, I kind of agree with Victor. As a kid raised on wrestling and his auntie soaps, there was no jumping on point. I jumped in comics in 2014 and did my own research. But I know not everyone is like that.
So true.
I grew up on those same things too, Dex, and I'm with you. The difference, though, is that you did your own research. How would you have done that in 1994?
I mean, I was there, and I can
tell me.
And so here's the thing: the first thing to understand is that there weren't as many books coming out, so it was easier to get like a regular run of books that you could read and keep up on, and then you didn't have as many other time-sucking things that you were doing. So going through back issues was a gem. Like that was something fun to do, whether you were going through back issues at a comic shop, going to flea markets, looking for stuff. Like that's how I know a lot of people became part of their friend groups, was that they would go on hunts for back issue things to try to fill in collections, storylines, stuff like that. So it became a little bit more of a physical community. We'll say a comic book version of Pokemon Go. Literally, like friends would get together and go various places. They'd have demographics or go to on trips to say, oh, we're gonna hit this store and I'm looking for this book and da 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 da. Do I have? Can we trade? Can we, like, all of these things? So it was a lot of community building, which I think is very interesting, because I would think now, especially as Dex kind of pointed out, comics and the exploration of the history becomes very solo oriented. It's very my own personal journey, my own personal research. And back then it required that you communicated with people to figure out what you had, what they had. And sometimes it wasn't even a matter of having it in your collection. Just if you could let me read it, I now know what happens. And that's all I needed to do.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Says the old man.
I mean, that sounds like a good time to me, honestly. Like
right?
when I was in high school, I had a group of friends. We had like a unofficial comic book club. That was featured on MTV's Made, funnily enough. And we would go every Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had the internet at the time, but it was more fun going through the actual issues and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, then you get the opportunity to just interact with those people that you see every week that you come in. Hey, dude, my shop used to walk in. He'd close at technically 7, but we stay open another hour or so. He'd pour out a little whiskey, and then you kind of just like chit chat about what's going on in the books that week.
How old were you?
I was,
Did you
I
just
was, I was in college. I was in college. I was in college. Hold enough. I was in college.
You just turned 21, didn't you?
Hey. I was having elevated conversation. I was talking about literature, okay?
Oh God.
Pinkies up.
Where's the tomato gift? Where's the tomato gift?
High class. But no, this also speaks to what we've lost in comic shops, because things have moved to such a very solo oriented positioning. We've lost the community that the comic shops were the cornerstone of. That's how we found out stuff. That's how we built friendships and all these different things. So there's so much that we have actually lost from what the 90s culture gave us, that I would love to see come back in a big bad way.
You make a good point, and maybe we'll find our way back to that. But for now, let's read this Chop Hard Alchemist super chat. Dropped $4.99 on us. Found the pals 1 year ago looking for Ultimate Spider-Man discussion and never left. Fitting to be starting the Ultimate Deep Dive on the anniversary. Cheers. Chop,
that's awesome.
Dude. Thank you so much, brother. You are a real one. I appreciate you so much. Mm-hmm. Thank you for being here. It's been a wonderful year having you a part of our little community here.
And we apologize for our pals polls about Ultimate Spider-Man this past week.
I don't.
We'll get to that later.
Hayden's Hideout with the 20 spot. The Ultimate Universe holds such a special place in my heart. I relied on the library early in my comics journey, and they had the first volume of Ultimate Spider-Man and Death of Spider-Man. Those were my first Marvel books.
Wow.
Nice.
Thank you so much for the support, Hayden. You are a quickly becoming a cornerstone of our community and what we do. So thank you so much. And then before we get back into the deep dive, Electrics wanting to share in the joy, dropping 50 SEK on us. Great show and deep dive, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Love that Swedish krona.
All right. So let's get back into things. We were talking about Bendis and his arrival onto the scene of Marvel Comics. And so we're going to jump into it with a quote from Bendis. He says, "When we announced this idea, a lot of people, most of the industry, everybody was dumping on it from every part of the industry, except Mark Millar. He was the only one who said, 'Hey, that sounds like a great idea.'"
Love Mark.
We'll talk more about that Mark Millar fella in just a moment. What was Bendis's idea for the initial Ultimate Spider-Man? Why did he take the route that he took? As it turns out, and again, I bet a lot of you don't know this, Bendis was not the first person hired to write Ultimate Spider-Man. Now, I would pay someone if they knew the identity of the original writer tapped for Ultimate Spider-Man.
The original writer? It was Alan Moore?
No, I wish. I would pay to find out the identity of the original writer. We don't know it. I don't know it. But this is what Bendis says about, he kind of says that the original writer's approach wasn't great. And it was to essentially redo Amazing Fantasy 15 beat for beat, which is a lot of what Chapter 1 was by John Byrne. So Bendis's approach was actually inspired by something that Stan Lee said. Quote, "I would have done exactly what he, the original writer, did. But I saw him make that choice. Then I read an interview where Stan said one of his biggest frustrations was that he only had 11 pages in Amazing Fantasy 15, that he wished he had many issues to tell that story. That's when I realized, oh, that's what we're going to do." And he said that during an interview with the Comics Experience. So what he means is he's going to take Amazing Fantasy 15, which is only a handful of pages, and stretch it out over the course of 7 issues, which is the decompressed comic book storytelling style that is popular in television, very popular in television, but hadn't quite made its way to comics yet. Bendis was smart enough to take that and apply it to the most important, arguably the most important Marvel comic ever, Amazing Fantasy 15, and modernize.
Can we just also point out that became kind of the framework for what the Ultimates line did?
Yeah.
Like, even with Mark Millar, the original 4-5 issues of the Ultimates originally was supposed to just all happen in issue 1. And wisely, they were like, don't do that. Stretch that out. Spread that all the way out so that way we can get a feel for it and really live with these characters.
Yeah. And it was a genius decision.
Success.
I mean, that first volume is mostly origin. You know, it's not a first issue.
Yes.
And if you read that volume, the things that shocked me in my reread recently for it, are how comfortable it is with just character focus. He's not Spider-Man for the majority of that first volume. I don't even think he's in costume until issue 4 or 5.
Yeah, the wrestling.
Issue 1 ends with him being like, oh, this is pretty cool. I have powers. So it's okay with taking you on a journey. It anticipates that you will hang around for the ride.
Even that decompressed storytelling kind of leaked its way into the main line. Like, think of like Alias, also by Bendis. We don't get her origin. We get bits and pieces of her origin throughout the story. You know? And I found it compelling because of that. Yeah.
Well, decompressed storytelling became the way of comics.
Yeah.
And Bendis is the reason for that. But Ultimate Spider-Man was where we first really saw how this could work, especially in the context of someone's origin. Just very, very important to comics.
Especially because we had a context for it. Like, this is what it was originally. This is how we're doing it now. So you could do that comparison.
Yeah. And how many people, this is another thing about reading comics at that time that's different than today. In 2000, how many people had read Amazing Fantasy 15?
I hadn't. I can tell you that right now.
Victor, were they putting out facsimile edition type things at all?
Yes.
They were.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was one of those kids who, at the beginning of the speculator boom, I got a reprint of X-Men #1 thinking that I had the original.
Me too. Yep.
And I'm like, this is worth some. No, not at all. So yeah, they were definitely doing facsimiles.
Or you get like a Marvel superheroes. I'm like, oh, this is the cover from
Yes.
I have that. Yep.
Yeah. Womp womps. But that's for the true fans.
But so for a lot of people, this would have been their first time reading Spider-Man's origin. So that's just important. That's important for anyone who could be reading this, whether you're a longtime comics reader or you're new and brand new to the fold. But again, like Bendis said, a lot of people did not believe that this would work. Most people didn't believe it would work. Notably, famously, Brian Hibbs, who owns, I believe it's called Flying Colors Comics out in San Francisco. He said at the time, quote, I publicly said, if Ultimate Spider-Man made it to 100 issues, I would eat a bug. Well, Ultimate Spider-Man made it way past 100 issues, and I have seen a video of Mr. Brian Hibbs eating that bug.
No way.
This is where you got to key me in ahead of time, Sean. I want to put that in the stream. What kind? Cicada, praying mantis, roach?
I don't know what kind of bug it was, but he was. I saw a video of him interviewing Bendis, and they were having a chat, and they inserted that video.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
Yes. If I may plug one more time, Marvel Year in Review 2000 and 2001, Fanboys and Bad Girls. Guys, this is a book that is a hidden gem of comics history. Love this one, written by Jim McLaughlin, who worked for Wizard at the time, has gone on to help found what we call Heroes Initiative. It was called Actor back in the day. But he wrote this piece, and he talks about how the industry was not looking forward to Ultimate Spider-Man. And as a line here, it says, the only problem, many Marvel insiders were secretly wishing for the ultimate flop, hoping Jemas, writer Brian Michael Bendis, and company would fall flat on their faces. People were actively betting against the Ultimate line, mostly because what they were afraid of was a bunch of new blood coming in. And this is kind of the tone that Bill takes in this story, that the comics industry had become so insular that they were afraid that more popular, nuanced people coming in would disrupt the hierarchy of the actually crowd. I know more than you do. And it would reduce them back to their getting noogies and being shoved in lockers personas that they had in school. So this was a very active plan to bring in new people to the comic industry as a whole, which I think is very interesting because there's so many, we'll say, popularized personalities that are now, prevalent in comics that weren't for a while. I remember, and this is kind of indicative, the idea that there weren't pretty girls reading comics, and they wanted to change that. There weren't girls reading comics, period, let alone the quote unquote pretty girls. So this was kind of this move of saying, like, there's a whole population of people who aren't aware of our products, and there's no reason for it. If the people that are presumably the gatekeepers don't want them, fuck them. They got to get out of the way, and we're going to do this anyway. And it worked.
Wow, dude. Those gatekeepers need a swirly.
That's gatekeeping.
Yes.
That is gatekeeping, and that is something that the comics industry has been dealing with for decades. It's crazy, though, to hear about a concerted effort to gatekeep. Like, we're going to actively do this.
Yes.
And you know what? Well, let me ask it as a let me pose a question. How much do you guys think Ultimate Spider-Man #1 sold?
I think I actually might have those numbers.
I
Let me look. Let me look.
I have the numbers. I want you to guess.
No cheating, Victor.
Is this Price is
I'm
Right?
just seeing if I do. Okay, okay.
Are we doing Price is Right
say,
rules here,
doesn't
Sean?
Sure.
Okay, $1.
we doing units or dollar amount?
Let's do unit.
Okay.
20. 20K.
Okay.
20K units.
That's-
That feels low.
Going for it.
50K.
I'm gonna go high and say 100.
All right. Well, Ultimate Spider-Man launches in September of 2000 to 54,000 units sold.
Dang it.
Ooh,
Good
nice,
job.
Tyler.
Good job.
Price is Right rules, I win. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
I like the spin.
At a price point, by the way, of $299.
Hey, yo. In 2000?
Yeah, they were drawing the
Yep.
line.
Yeah.
Damn, they drew the line that early?
The book would go to 225. And Ultimate X-Men did the same thing. It launched at 299, went to 225. But yeah, that was the initial launch. And so those are not amazing numbers. Those are not amazing numbers at all. 54,000 copies sold in the year 2000 was good enough to put Ultimate Spider-Man in the top 20, but it wasn't the #1 best-selling comic of the month. It wasn't the best-selling comic of the year. Not in the direct market.
Do you have other books that were selling better by title name?
Yes,
I knew you would,
definitely do.
Is Moon Knight selling better? Like, you know what I mean? Like currently how Moon Knight sells?
Oh, let's play. So, Ultimate Spider-Man sells. It's the 15th best selling comic of the month of September in the year 2000. Now, here are some books that outsold Ultimate Spider-Man: X-Men Black Sun, Banshee and Sunfire, Colossus and Nightcrawler, Wolverine and Thunderbird, Sunstorm, the new X-Men. I don't know what the fuck Black Sun is.
Wait, were you just naming all individual titles?
Yes.
Banshee had a book?
All of those outsold.
What is this? 2005, 2025 Marvel? All these X-Men solos?
Well, it was Banshee and Sunfire.
Oh, okay.
Still,
All right. Whoa, all right. Yeah.
What the hell? But not only that, because X-Men outsells pretty much everything in this era. When you look at these lists, it's insane. It's almost all X-Men.
Wait. Contextualize. X-Men the movie had just come out.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So,
but even in the 90s, the X-Men were just.
I mean, yes, they were. But like the reason for all of these other X-Men related characters, X-Men the movie had just come out in July of 2000. So
this is before that.
I thought you said this was all September.
Oh, no, you're right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Right.
I was like, I thought this was all September.
You're right.
Okay.
You're absolutely right. Okay, fine. So that doesn't shock you. All right, fine. Daredevil outsold it. It's Daredevil. Okay. How about Spawn? How about issue 102 of Spawn outselling Ultimate Spider-Man? How about Midnight Nation?
Oh, yeah. I was a big Midnight Nation fan back then.
What the fuck is Midnight Nation?
You don't know Midnight Nation, Sean?
Isn't that Straczynski?
It? Dude, you're good.
Yeah.
It's not like he does this for a living, Sean.
I know, but damn.
This is the hardest working man in comics for a reason.
Hey. But Midnight Nation is what got Straczynski Amazing Spider-Man. So, like, that's, like, it all is connected.
Now, I just want to say...
And Rising Stars.
I feel like Rising Stars is on this too. It was number 17, actually. I think that some of these people made a bad bet. And Midnight Nation, I can't speak to the quality of it. JMS is a great writer, though. But if you want to get every issue of Midnight Nation, issues 1 through 12, you can do that right now on eBay for $15.99 if you want to buy it now.
Wow.
All 12 copies. Try getting an original copy of Ultimate Spider-Man #1.
Ooh, what does that go for right now?
Don't even know, but I'm sure it's more than
Let me head to
$15.99.
mycomicshop.com one sec.
Midnight Nation.
Yeah,
That cracked me up, dude.
Did you say what #1 was?
Oh, #1 was Batman.
Oh, okay. What number?
Wait. No. I'm sorry. That was 2003. #1 in 2000 was Uncanny X-Men. Number 386.
Gotcha.
But it only sold 111,000 copies, which today, that's like, wow, yippee. But back then you could do better. So the industry was still not in a great spot.
I just looked this up. It on the cover it says Marvel Comics. Where you have the little slip of the corner piece. The comic that inspired X-Men the movie.
Oh man, I love it. Chat, how we feeling? Talk to me. Oh, I see some super chats. Matt Fisher with the $4.99. Hello, you ragamuffins. Serious. Do you think Marvel can hit this high again? That's a great question, Matt. It's a great question. I feel like we would to answer that question, we would need to talk about the modern Ultimate Universe, and I don't want to yet. So to answer you without diving deep into the question, yes, but not with this.
Yeah.
Not with what they're doing now.
Yes, but maybe DC's doing it.
I don't even know why I think DC's doing it, but go ahead.
So I think Marvel could do it. They would have to do a totally different initiative.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna throw this out here. Like literally, they should call me because I'm available. They should do essentially an Ultimate Comics line of books, but it's based off of the MCU and filling in all the blanks of things that happened between movies that we've never seen.
Pitched that a million years ago on this podcast, and they to me that is the modern example of having your cake and eating it too.
Yeah,
for Marvel.
I want the Ultimate Kang the Conqueror book that explains his weakness to ants.
Context.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
And Sean, for context, you can get a CGC 9.8 Ultimate Spider-Man #1 on eBay for $350. So that's not bad for a 9.8.
Tree fitty or like $350?
$350.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you can buy an unslabbed one for around, but it looks like between 50 and 90.
There you go.
Yeah. Good investment.
There you go. Matt Fisher with another $1.99 says Rising Stars was amazing. Okay. I haven't read it. I'm glad. These are
you never
books.
read Rising Stars? Oh man.
No.
Dude. You will never think of invulnerability in the same way after you read that book.
Well, I think it's worth pointing out we're in September of 2000. Image has 4 books in the top 20. That's very good. That's very good. That's shocking.
This is the beginning of the writer era of Image, where the art not necessarily took a backseat, but the writers definitely were the prevailing force of storytelling. So you're looking at The Authority is happening. Like there's just some big name stuff that's coming down the pike very soon.
Yeah.
Top cow.
Did we get to Rob Super Chat here? $13.99 Canadian. He said the OG Ultimate Universe was just a new sandbox to tell good stories, and I feel like the new universe is too self-aware of the fact that it is universe and puts too much importance on the universe itself.
That's some context.
I very much want to have a conversation about what you're saying there, Rob, because I personally believe you're exactly right. I do want to keep the train on track, but yes, I agree with you, and we will be dealing with that topic much more throughout this deep dive. And then Jay Sage with a 4.9. We can't even talk about what we're here to talk about because you guys are super chatting so much. It's a great thing. Don't stop. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely
first world problems.
Right. Jay Sage with the 4.99 pound. Thank you, brother. USM was so good they made a PS2 game based just on it. That was my introduction to it. I love that version of Venom, which was then used in Spectacular.
Yep.
Marco, you played that game, right?
That's how I knew. That's the only reason that I knew, because of that multimedia experience.
Wow.
That game is amazing. That game
Yeah.
is so good, and it was written by Bendis.
Oh, and for me, it was the art, the cell shading.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
CW Gordon is super yaps.
Hey, we're having a blast. We're having a blast, and keep the chatting coming. You guys are amazing. I appreciate the support. Over 100 of you hanging out with us here for the Ultimate Universe Deep Dive. So, as I said, the book didn't do gangbusters in the direct market, but Bill Jemas's Gambit wasn't on the direct market. It was on everywhere. So his bright idea was to put copies of Ultimate Spider-Man in places that you didn't even necessarily get comics from. You could buy Ultimate Spider-Man from Macy's. And so they distributed millions of copies of Ultimate Spider-Man all across North America. And so this became a book that was being talked about on television,
everywhere,
in magazines. Everybody was talking about it because of its accessibility. It wasn't just in the direct market.
Interesting.
So the sales of this book don't actually represent the impact of the book.
Absolutely true.
Ultimate Spider-Man was a driver of Free Comic Book Day, and the other way around. It brought people to the doors for Free Comic Book Day, and people went to Free Comic Book Day to get this. So it was a juggernaut, even if the sales don't tell you that story.
Right. And I think it's important, like, again, to really kind of hammer in the impact, the residuals from this single books experiment. Here's some of the things that we got from this, and I'm sure we'll get into it. We got Black Nick Fury. That's number one, right? Second, the follow-up being Nick Fury being based off of Sam Jackson. That happens later on. We've got Miles Morales that comes off of this. The entirety of the MCU is built off of this. I would argue that there are aspects of, we'll say, the 2015 Fantastic Four that were trying to tap into the Ultimate Fantastic Four storyline setups for things. Like, this actually impacted culture moving forward in a bajillion ways. The first real successes of Marvel Studios before it was the live action movie line was animated features, where you had the Ultimate Avengers 2. Like, those were some of the first pieces that kind of set the stage for what the MCU or Marvel Studios has become, all built off of the bones of the Ultimate Comics line.
To your point on how it permeated, I didn't know that Nick Fury wasn't black until we read a book with White Fury here, and I was like, "That's weird that they introduced his character like this."
We call him White Fury now. That sounds
White Fury. Hell yeah!
That sounds like a new cult that I do not want to be a part of.
White Fury.
That's how they would feel if he was done right now. I can tell you that, right? No. But yeah, I mean, like, even to that point, I want to say the Hasselhoff movie was late 90s, like 98, 99 or something like that. Yeah. So, like, the presentation of Nick Fury totally changed. Like, people don't know Nick Fury isn't black, let alone isn't Sam Jackson, for the longest time. In fact, that's actually how we found out that Sam Jackson is a comic book fan, because they didn't think that he would see it. They didn't know he was a comic guy. And so they did it without his permission, and rather than sue them, he orchestrated a deal. Movie-wise.
He owned it, dude. That's him now.
Yeah. Iconic. But can you imagine that? Can you imagine being like a famous celeb? You go in to get your comics, la 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 la. You flip through and you're like,
"That's me.
That's me."
They're like crazy. Yeah, that's wild.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
Brian Hitch, right? Would have been drawing that. Yeah.
Yep.
Immediately, he's like, "Call my agent."
Yeah. No, he did. Like, that's literally like, should we sue them for this?
No, you leveraged that. Yep.
Yes. Yep.
9-picture deal. In fact, that was a funny haha on the set of Kingsman, because Mark apologized to Sam Jackson for it because they did not have that permission. He literally was like, we didn't think you would ever see it. We didn't know you were a comic book guy. And he's like, I've been a comic book fan since I was a kid. So yes, I was going to see this. And he was like, but I'm not mad at you because it got me a 9-picture movie deal. So we'll call it even. And he's like, fair game. Like that's,
We'll call it even. That's crazy.
Hilarious.
What a bag he got. He got a bag just for being who he is. That's it. Like,
yes.
Yeah, they were like, he's only a comic book guy in Unbreakable, not in real life.
Jokes. Incorrect. Yeah.
Jay Sage with the 199 pound just remembered there were 2 Ultimates movies. Yes, the animated.
They were good.
Yeah,
that's
I love those.
That's how I mean, we're going to talk about our favorite Ultimates characters. That's how one of them is one of my favorites from those cartoon movies. Nice. Which that's how I got into Ultimates. There's still a lot of Ultimates I didn't read, but I did watch the animated movies.
Hell yeah. Comics are dope. In the chat says rumored Kale left the Pals to join White Fury.
That's either something really bad or a cool kung fu movie.
Both.
I could see what's my man's name? He's the white karate guy, Walker Texas Ranger.
Chuck Norris?
I can see Chuck Norris being in a movie called White Fury.
Yeah, White Fury. No, he's the villain of a group called White Fury in a RZA movie.
Oh my god. Unreal. Okay. So let's keep things going. Let's talk about Ultimate Spider-Man. It's very the book style, the way it's written, the way the characters are presented. It's hard to underscore, especially nowadays when it's commonplace, how different of a book this was. It's very like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's very Dawson's Creek. There's a lot of like teenage drama and angst in it that is sort of present in the original run of Spider-Man, but it's just told in a different way. It's just a different time. Spider-Man, Peter's supporting cast is so much more of a big deal in the immediate issues of Ultimate Spider-Man. Mary Jane is there from the word go. Aunt May is there, and an active, younger, fresher character from the word go. He's got bullies. He's got, he doesn't really have friends, but they're all there. Notably, Uncle Ben is there for the first X amount of issues, the first 5 or so issues. Uncle Ben is there. He's a character.
Gotta build that up, man. That impact has got to be felt. You can't just be told that this guy mattered. You got to see it. You got to see it.
Well, that's something that I imagine Stan Lee wished he could have done differently. Uncle Ben is not a character. Uncle Ben is not a character until Ultimate Spider-Man.
Right.
He's just really a cautionary tale and an inciting incident for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's it.
He's a memory at best. Like that's
They fridged him. The original fridging.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. One of the things that I love that Bendis used to say, I think this was he did an interview in Wizard back in the day, that in order to capture that voice, that very youthful, on point sort of voice, he would go to the mall and just sit in the food court and listen to what people were saying and how they were saying it, so that he could nail exactly what the tonal qualities of the dialogue should be. Because this is, in fact, a very dialogue-centric narrative base. We know where it's going story-wise, so he didn't have to worry about that. It's one of the things that I said very strongly, and I apologize if I offend anyone. I'm not a fan of Rogue One because we know where it's going, and there's nothing that I really latch onto character-wise to make me care about where it's going. Unlike Titanic. We know where Titanic is going, but it's the characterizations, the interactions that you're like, I just really want to watch where this is going. I know the ship's going down, spoiler, but I just want to get there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to get there. That's what he did for Ultimate Spider-Man. We knew where it was going. It was just a matter of time before he got bit, before Uncle Ben dies, before all these things happen. But how these characters interacted is what drove us to want to follow that along, because it became more authentic and real and not just plot points. This was literal people's lives.
And that's like what I was when I went to school for screenwriting. Like that's what I was taught to do. I was told, like, for a lesson, go to the mall, listen to people, and that's how you get dialogue.
Yes.
There's a whole
Yes.
note section in my phone full of just
It's
things
great.
I've heard people saying. And I'm
Really?
nosy as shit. I'm nosy as shit. So I love eavesdropping and just hearing things. I'll have my headphones on, but they ain't listening to music.
Still listening.
Yeah. And that was great for me in terms of writing, which I feel is more of a cinematic approach that that era of comics really kind of took from.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, the dialogue in this book just feels so true to life. Feels honest. Bendis was again in his 30s, but he wrote these young kids, these teenagers, like he was one of them. It's really amazing. Even now, today, going back 25 years and checking this out, there are dated lines, but they weren't dated at the time,
Right.
you know. And it just felt honest, and it felt it's really just smart on every single level. When I compare this to current Ultimate Spider-Man, there are some things that I notice that are interesting. One is that this version of Ultimate Spider-Man is very concerned with you knowing Peter. Peter is in nearly every single scene. He is the driver of the story. Plot is not really a factor. It's what Peter does. It's him going to school. It's him getting his powers. It's him deciding he's going to go after Kingpin. It's not what Kingpin does to him that makes him go out and do things. It's him saying, you know what? This guy's bad. His kind of actions are what led my uncle to being dead. I'm going to go after him. I'm going to take him out. It's very character focused and character driven, whereas current Ultimate Spider-Man is extremely plot driven. Everything happens to Peter and he reacts to it, not the other way around.
I think even one of the examples where he breaks Flash's hand, you know, the remorse that he feels, right? Those are character moments where he's like, he understands the weight of his decisions, he understands the consequences of these things. That was something so small in the grand scheme of Spider-Man, but that's an important fact of Peter.
Agreed.
Another comparison to current Ultimate Spider-Man is that in OG, within the first 12 issues, Peter beats the Kingpin. 16-year-old kid Peter beats the Kingpin in 12 issues. Grown-ass man, Ultimate Spider-Man, is still dealing with the Kingpin.
That's right.
And will have only defeated him 24 issues into that run. So big differences.
Here's the thing. It'll happen between issues 23 and 24. We won't see it.
Yeah.
The month will pass by.
Oh God, no.
and not even solely because of Peter, but because of whatchamacallit, Goblin too.
With a little help from his friends.
Yeah.
That's what the book's about.
It's friendship.
Speaking of the Goblin, we got a literal Goblin as the Green Goblin in Ultimate Spider-Man, which is the biggest in those first issues, the first like 25 issues. That's the biggest change. And when I first saw that as a young person, I was like, oh, this is dumb as fuck. I don't want that. I want him on a glider.
Oh,
I was way wrong. It's so cool. And the longer I was reading those books, the more I was like, oh, actually, this is fire.
Yeah.
And it became like, it's not the way I want Green Goblin to be always, but I love this. I love it like this.
In the context of the story too, it's, you know, the accident that happens that creates Peter is successful purely by coincidence, but the moment that you attempt to, right, you become that the monstrosity. You're trying to chase something, so that as like opposing forces, both ideologically and situationally, was great to see. And playing the game, that was the first time I saw that. That was a cool ass level, and it was one of those situations where it's like, well, I have a light familiarity because of the movies at the time and the TV show. That's cool. That's different. This is a really interesting take that can interest me further. And I think the game had like notes in it. It had like secrets you could read about. That was the stuff that I was doing. I'm like, why is this different?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was there still the connection of even what happened to Peter, them trying to recreate the super soldier serum? Is that part of it, or am I mixing
Does that
other
get
media?
does that get retconned in the Ultimate Universe as being like the impetus for everything? Because isn't that the
I
impetus
think it, I think it
for
is.
mutants too? Isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I think is very interesting because the Ultimate Universe is by design supposed to supersede continuity, but it does address the one thing that early Marvel kind of failed at, which was each character was kind of in its own separate, world until they weren't. And so even when you had things that probably should have been universal, if not global, level threats, only one group of people showed up. I always had that problem with like, where are the Avengers when Galactus shows up? Like, what are you doing when this guy comes like, yeah, I'm going to eat the planet, and they're like,
Avengers
these
can just
four
say,
will handle it.
yeah, Avengers can just say Kree Skrull War is happening, and they can
Maybe.
at any point.
Yeah. And I think this is something where it goes, all of these things happen because of this, and we're trying to recreate what this is, and it begets Hulk, it begets Spider-Man, it begets and I think that's kind of smart.
That was Ultimate Origin, right?
I think so.
Yeah. That's actually where I started reading Ultimate Comics. Was Ultimate Origin into the David LaFuente reboot of Ultimate Spider-Man. So that's my era, which is, I guess, kind of the third take, maybe.
Something like that.
Something like 2.5, maybe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man just was such an incredible story. Like the changes that Bendis decided to make. Think about how many years into Spider-Man's journey it was before he told, for example, Mary Jane his secret identity.
Mm-hmm.
In issue 13 is one of the best comics I have ever read.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing happens other than Peter telling Mary Jane that he is Spider-Man. And it lets you live with that. That typically would be, that's the cliffhanger. We're gonna let that hang. The whole issue is her reaction. The whole issue is her reaction to his secret, not believing him. Then he's got to prove himself. And she is excited. She loves it. She thinks it's awesome. A teenager's not keeping this secret from everybody. They're not.
So again, going back to this beautiful book, that is a piece, the revelation, literally talking about that's not what a teenager would do. A teenager would tell right away, use everything possible to get the girl that they could do. Makes sense.
Yep.
Totally makes sense.
Yep.
And one thing of note too that as we're discussing this, it jumps out to me is Mark Bagley on art as well. Like I know we talk about Bendis a lot during this, but Bagley really had, for its time, a very modern interpretation of what fashion was like at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Hairstyles specifically, like I think of Bagley hair when I think of comics, and really kind of cemented it in that time period and modernized it.
Mm-hmm.
Does it work when Bagley draws now? No, it still seems like Ultimate Spider-Man. But for the time, I think it was really important.
Yeah.
One of the things, because Bagley was already a seasoned Spider-Man artist throughout the 90s. So a bit of a safe choice in that regard. And
Definitely
he actually didn't want to do it.
Right.
He didn't want to do it because, again, he had done it and, but it was the difference, and when you look at his version of Ultimate Spider-Man, the character, nobody else in the Ultimate line, whenever you see Spider-Man drawn by any other artist, he looks exactly the same as mainline. Mm-hmm. It is only Bagley in these early years who was able to accurately portray young Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's because he knows so well how to draw mainline that he was able to sit down and say, okay, what does this look like if the person in the costume is 15 years old?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And he nails it like every time.
The eyes.
Yeah.
It's in the eyes and it's in the body language that this is a kid.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like the fourth Lawrence brother. Like the missing one. Is that too deep of a 90s reference? Jeez, okay.
That was a good one.
Okay.
I almost was like, whoa, like that's how good that
I was afraid like I did a really white reference there for a second.
Well. Yeah, that costume Bagley was a huge part of this. And I mean, this
Mhm.
team, from not wanting to be a part of the project to doing 111 issues of the project. I mean, that
Huge.
goes to show you, how important the collaboration was, but also how successful it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ben Loudly with the $5 skipped USM back then, but Bacalo's work on Ultimate War and Joe Mads on Ultimates 3, plots be damned, are what got my my initial attention to the universe.
Ultimate War. Mm.
Ultimates 3 is wild.
Oh, we're gonna talk about Ultimates 3.
Bro.
That's coming up next, not next week, but soon.
Oh my God.
The Comical Wonder with the $4.99, but no message. If you send your message through, you don't need to super chat again. If you send it through, we'll read it for you, buddy. But yeah, so Ultimate Spider-Man is a revelation. Did you guys get a chance to check it out for this conversation at all? Because again, in my reread, I've just had so much fun getting to read this. It's a joy. I'm going to be talking about Ultimate Spider-Man every week as I continue through my reread. I'm somewhere in the 20s at this point.
Mm-hmm.
This book is incredible. Like, everybody should read this.
Yeah. First 7 issues, that first arc.
I've been going through this. Marvel Unlimited has like top moments in the Ultimate Universe that I've been going through. So select issues, not through all of it though.
Okay.
I'll be honest. When this first came out, I wasn't a Spider-Man fan at all. In fact, I was like an anti-Peter Parker Spider-Man guy. It wasn't until the Raimi movies came out that I was like, this is amazing. Like, there's something like it unlocked in me. And that's when I went back to read Ultimate Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man that Straczynski was doing. So this was all things that I encountered after the fact. So I had a lot that I could read once I got into it, but definitely a phenomenal piece. Like, I still have the first trade in my collection. Will never give that up. It was timely. It was very timely because you figure when the movies come out, I'm 20 years old. So when these books come out, I'm 18. This would have been a book that I should have read as I was leaving high school, because this is kind of in that perfect time period. And I just wasn't a Spider-Man fan. But looking back, I could totally see that this was magic, absolute magic. And I think it's part of the reason why I enjoy the new Ultimate Spider-Man so much now, because I am older, I'm a dad, and so it speaks to me in a very sincere way, much in the same way that I think Ultimate Spider-Man originally would have spoken to me if I read it when it came out.
I love that. And if you guys are loving Victor Dandridge's contributions to this conversation, you got to check out the man's comic books.
Yes, please. Please. Actually, I got to give you guys a big shout out. Last time I was on here was the day after I launched my Kickstarter, and we have 19 days left. We're at 150% funding. So thank you guys for the opportunity to share that with everyone. But it's a big reading initiative. And when I tell you how influential Bendis has been to me as a writer, it's huge. Like, we're both from Ohio. Literally, I left from hanging out with you guys to go hang out with him as we were doing he was doing a very special thing at the Cleveland Public Library in celebration of Superman. So very, very cool. Thank you guys so very much for being a part of this month of success for me. I appreciate you.
Oh, we love it, man. I am overjoyed anytime that there's a success in the Victor Dandridge camp. So congratulations to you for that. I want to get a link to the Kickstarter so that I can share that in the chat.
Already done. I got it.
Oh,
beautiful.
Tyler's
Thank you,
the
Tyler.
man. He said,
Slide
I'm the man
ready.
in the chair. Let's go.
The
Thank
art's
you.
up. Kendrick
Thank you,
Guardians
thank you.
right there.
What do you
Thank
think?
you.
I haven't been doing this for 3 years?
Beautiful, beautiful,
Thank you.
beautiful. Victor is the guy. Check out Into the Chatterverse. That's a place where you can listen to Victor talk about comics on a weekly basis, right?
Yes.
Your weekly.
Yes, weekly. We did miss last week because we were on site at San Diego, but we gave you a double dose this week. So not only did we do a recap of San Diego, we talked about Fantastic Four.
Awesome. Love that. Love that. Shoot, I wish we could have had your Fantastic Four review right here on this channel, but that means I gotta go check out your review on Into the Chatterverse.
Absolutely.
Victor, when I met you New York Comic Con like a year or two ago, maybe 2 years ago, you already had you had pins ready. Like you had pins, you had like a lanyard thing, and I was like, man, this guy knows what he's doing. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I've been in the game for a minute. In fact, this October I celebrate 15 years of geekdom being my full-time job. So that's yeah.
That's what's up. I met you
Thank you.
15 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was
Something
like
that, yeah.
it was very close around my initial start. Yeah.
Is how close to that is Trouble with Love?
In terms of timeline,
Yeah.
Trouble with Love came out in 2012, so it is like that is right in line with things. Our first book came out March of 2011 with The Samaritan, and The Trouble with Love came out in July of 2012. So yeah,
Love
I
The
still
Trouble
think
with
about
Love.
that book. Still think
Yeah.
about it.
dude, thank you. I got to send you guys Never Too Late. That's the sequel, and it's a 4-part sequel, and that just wrapped up earlier this year. So yeah. When you talk about like in your feels, it's delicious.
Never too late to send us that.
I see what you did there. Well done. Yeah, I will definitely do so.
Pete Collins, artist of the Bardic Verse, is somebody we got to get you on here, Pete, to be in the rotation. Pete says backed, looks good, and good luck with the campaign.
Thank you, Pete. Appreciate you.
That's what's up. And again, this is if you've got kids in your life, young people in your life, I think they will love the Kinderguardians.
Absolutely.
It is awesome stuff.
Absolutely.
Awesome stuff. The Comical Wonder with the $9.99. My issue with the new Ultimate Universe and month-to-month in Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimates is the too much open air for setup for future writers, Hickman's role here, that makes some issues feel like sporadic events.
There's no gristle connecting them sometimes.
Sinew.
Well, look at what we just brought up. Ultimate War was a great showcase of a mini series that did connect two different titles that were kind of in a path, but this was a great way to kind of like have a separate thing that just kind of shows a scope. And I don't think that the current Ultimates line is doing that, which I think would be very smart for them to do. It gives them quick access to trades and still allows for a growth of the storylines.
Boy, I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. One of the weirdest things is how hollow, to me, the current Ultimate Spider-Man feels in contrast to OG Ultimate Spider-Man. It's very, very interesting. Matt Fisher with a $4.99 gets to Daredevil Jr. becoming a vampire and Wanda dying, but not. Well, we got a lot to get to.
It's a lot. So much.
We're gonna be doing this for 4 weeks, so we've got a lot to talk about on that front. Entertain me with the $5. Ultimate Spider-Man is where the idea of Peter and Kitty having a romance happened, since it never happened in mainline.
It's true.
If you read Ultimate Spider-Man as Peter Parker is Brian Michael Bendis, Kitty Pryde is his dream girl.
Yes. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
He grew up reading, Claremont X-Men and loved Kitty Pryde in there. And so that's why Bendis uses her so frequently. He loves her.
And he had to even use her in Guardians of the Galaxy too. Jeez.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Everywhere.
His
I'm not
protagonists hook up
saying
with her.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that's Kitty's the it girl. I mean, yeah. Kitty galore. I don't know.
And then Luis Fernando with the five spot.
Real.
Ned, Peter's friend in the Tom Holland movies, is based on Gonki Lee, Miles' friend, right? Ultimate inspiring the MCU. Big hug from Brazil. Dude, big hug, tremendous hug. Right back to you at Brazil. Thank you so much, Luis. And yes, you're absolutely right. You are right. And the Ultimate Universe has inspired the MCU in a myriad of ways, as Victor was illuminating earlier on in this conversation.
So much.
Big old abrazo.
Now, there's a whole other side of this that we haven't gotten into, and we must, which is Ultimate X-Men. It's a big piece of the early days of the Ultimate Universe conversation.
That's right.
And believe it or not, we have more show to do outside of talking about the Ultimate Universe. So we're going to move things along and keep the conversation going, but not before I share the love with our universe, the Comics Pals universe, the Palsverse, and our supporters on patreon.com/thecomics pals. You guys make this possible. You are the realest community and audience I could have dreamed of. And so I want to shout out you guys and spread love to you right now. Special shout out to our Pals vs. Legends, the Hound of Justice, Atomic Hound, Starcross, Catherine Stars, who are both here in the chat supporting and showing love. Red Spiral, Spiral Sturm, Adam and Bernie the Best Boy, the Spear of Judgment, Jay's Jumble, Jalen Jackson, the Sanguine Sorcerer, Jesse, and Entertain Me. And thank you to the Pals vs. members, the Night Stalker Harris Stajinsky, Brian Demolish Del Pozo, Kefis the Incorruptible, Momentum Mike Elliott, Dan the Truth Trudeau, Marley Manistorm, Slow Flow Dameron, Christian Uncaged, Always Laughing, the Spear of Justice, Izzy's Issues, the Great Destroyer, Hyper Viper 89, Robert Runback, Cashback, Pete, the Dreamweaver Collins, James, Just Jamming Jones, Paul Powerhouse Smith, Neon Knight, the Cosmic Avenger, Matthew the Shade Cosmo, BJ Kicks, aka Comics Are Dope, the Living Blade, Boss Rendier, the Grand Alchemist, Chop Harder Alchemist, John Barrier B, and Doomsday, David Melendez, Doria. If you did not hear your name, and you should, you will later on. Thank you all so much. Woo!
Appreciate you.
Oh, man. All right. Now, while Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley were crafting the ultimate epic with Spider-Man, something else was happening behind the scenes. They needed a writer for Ultimate X-Men. And that search was actually more arduous than the search for Spider-Man. Again, at this time, the X-Men are really what is keeping the doors open for Marvel, not Spider-Man. So making sure that this went right was very important. So important that they actually rejected scripts from Bendis himself.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to be the writer of Ultimate X-Men, and they said no because they didn't like what he was doing. Enter Mark Millar. Mark Millar, who had made his bones most recently with The Authority. Mm-hmm. He was known to be a controversial writer who was very talented and knew how to make things big and epic, but he pushed boundaries. And there were some people who didn't love that. But again, we're in the 90s, coming out of the 90s, Edge is still in.
Mm-hmm.
So his pitch for Ultimate X-Men is accepted. And in 2001, the Ultimate X-Men hit the scene. This is a very, very, very different title than Ultimate Spider-Man. Some things that are important to know about Mark Millar. Chief among them, he did not have a familiarity with the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Other than
At
the
all.
movie.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
He didn't know them.
He was too busy doing a Marvel UK, which was Zoids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Millar is a UK-based creator.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the internet was not the resource that it is today to learn everything there is to know. And yes, back issues existed, but trades were not really a thing as much.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't have access to know all this stuff, and he probably didn't really care as much. He was concerned with what he was doing, but he was tapped to write Ultimate X-Men without a real familiarity with the characters, and so his interpretation is based on his own mind, but also the movies, the one movie we had.
Yeah, yeah, which is a very refreshing take, especially considering that in just 2 years' time after that, Grant Morrison comes in to do new X-Men. Maybe not even 2 years. It's still, I think it's still that year, 2001.
I think so. Yeah.
He comes in with a brand new take, and part of their missive is X-Men had become a book about the X-Men. It's a book about evolution that did not evolve. And that's a problem. So you got this guy that comes in with such a fresh outlook that he's not mired by previous stories. He doesn't have a concern about, the Phoenix. Like, he doesn't care because he doesn't know it. So he's free to just kind of go, what does this look like in this new millennium?
Yes, exactly.
What are y'all laughing at?
I'm laughing because somebody in the chat said, Lucas Heatwave Holner said, reading Ultimate Spider-Man, why does Ultimate Iceman have a do-rag on?
Pages of Ultimate's books, a lot of do-rags, a lot of bandanas.
Yes. These were some gang members. They were about that action. Okay.
They were part of White Fury?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were.
Okay.
In Ultimate Comics Team Up, number one, Wolverine literally he has his same hair, but for some reason he has on a bandana on top of the hair.
Yes.
Very, very bugged out. But so Mark Millar and Andy Kubert was the creative team behind the initial launch of Ultimate X-Men. They ran for 33 issues. Well, Millar did. There were guest artists throughout Millar's time. Cara Andrews, Isad Ribic, and David Finch all had guest art appearances during Mark Millar's run.
Love to talk to one of those people about comics.
Kari is amazing. Like he definitely will chat you up anytime.
He is a beast.
Yeah,
I love his work.
Yeah.
I love his work too.
Spider-Man Reign was
talk about it. Yes.
So good. So good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now Ultimate X-Men was a sales juggernaut in comparison to Ultimate Spider-Man. I've got the numbers for you. Oh, and I was actually mistaken on when Ultimate X-Men launched. It was actually not 2001. It was the tail end of 2000. It launched in December, so right at the last month of 2000, with 117,000 units sold.
Whoa, double.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
At $2.99.
Yeah. That's some growth right there.
Absolutely.
And that makes sense, right? Like you already have the core property. You're going to make an ultimate version of this. Maybe it's off the tail. Well, I guess not off the tail of the success, but there's a known quantity to it that I want to go read. Oh, fresh take, different. Oh,
and there is a bit of a visual similarity to the movies too.
Yes,
very much so.
Yeah. The black leather,
yep,
like connective thread is very smart,
very strong,
very smart. Yeah,
and it's worth
skin.
It's worth pointing out that we're still just a couple of years removed from the Matrix, which changed the way people dressed, literally. And so that style of outfit became cool as shit. You see it in the X-Men movie, and then Millar and Kubert translated it here into the comics.
That short hair.
Yep, the short hair. The look of the X-Men in this comic inspired the look of the X-Men in X-Men Legends video game.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I love it.
Age of Apocalypse on the PSP. That was my jam. I would spend too much time on the toilet playing that game because it was portable. The PlayStation Porta Potty is what I used to call it sometimes.
Oh my god.
Bars.
Now for my number junkies out there, and those of you who love to know what was happening around the same time, Uncanny X-Men cost $225. X-Men proper cost $3.50, and JLA was $3.75.
Damn.
So these are some expensive comics.
Go
ahead.
This is Morrison's JLA this time, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
2000.
I think so.
He started in '97, so we'd be getting to the tail end of his JLA run. Like he might be off of it by now. That might be like Mark Waid.
Possibly. Maybe Millar too around this time.
Millar, he did a couple like stand-ins during the Morrison run. In fact, big shout out because I adore Mark so much. He's my friend and mentor. I love that he reused a story concept for Justice League, and then he reused it in Jupiter's Legacy. So I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but just know like there's I want to say it's JLA 47 or 48. He uses the same trick. It is absolutely one of my favorite tricks of all time.
I'm interested to hear what you're talking about because I love the Jupiter stuff, but I haven't read Mark Millar's JLA. So
this one was like a fill-in issue. It was a singular issue. It was fantastic. It was the JLA versus Amazo, and the way that they figure out how to beat him is so stupidly brilliant. Like it's one of those. It's like the answer is like right here, and it's amazing.
Oh wow! Huge shout out! I'm just seeing it. I'm so glad I picked up my phone. Kyle, huge shout out to Kyle who just joined our Patreon at the Palsverse Legend tier. That's the highest possible tier. Kyle, thank you so much, brother.
Awesome.
Really appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thank you. Are you in the chat right now, brother? Because I want to make sure you know. Okay, good. All right. Patrick Zay says, "Did y'all give USM the video game some love?" Yes, phenomenal video game.
Yep.
Ultimate Universe inspired a lot of video games. Like somebody calls
Mhm.
out, Ultimate Alliance. Wolverine was wearing his Ultimate X-Men costume too. Kurt
Mhm.
mentions, yeah, that was the visual key, I think, for
Yeah.
who these characters were outside of the
Absolutely.
comics.
Absolutely.
Yeah, multimedia,
Yeah.
100%.
Even the action figures. This is around Toy Biz Marvel Legends time. There's a lot of Toy Biz Marvel Legends coming out that are Ultimates.
Talk about it, Tyler. That was,
Mhm.
dude. I had
Yeah.
all of them.
Do you
Oh.
even it was the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Ultimate Spider-Man line that had the same trade, like same packaging as the trade dressing with like the bright red on the sides. Oh man,
With the strips.
That was good
Yeah.
stuff, man. Yeah. Toy Biz Marvel Legends are so good. They don't really hold up as much now, but I love them.
At the time, though. At the
Oh,
time.
at the time they were great. Especially the ones that came with the comic book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe we were getting toys that good.
Right.
And quick too, in terms of like when the comics came out. Like it's hit or miss now. Sometimes like Spider-Boy came out with an action figure. Like, ooh, that's a quick turnaround time. But to do like a whole line of Ultimate Spider-Man stuff as the book was concurrent, like, yeah, it's big.
Incredible.
So, Ultimate X-Men drops. It does really well. It does really, really well. It was the #1 seller in December of 2000. In January, and actually in to that point, Ultimate Spider-Man in December was 11th in sales with 59,000 copies sold, which was issue 4. So what I've just told you is that the sales went up in the direct market. That never happens. But that's how good Ultimate Spider-Man was in the buzz and everything else. Turn the page to January. Ultimate X-Men slips to #3, but that's okay because the top 3 selling books are all X-Men books. It sold 89,000 copies, so it slipped about 20,000 copies, which is normal in comics, but again, did not happen to Ultimate Spider-Man. Ultimate X-Men is a very strange book. I have not read this stuff since I read it the first time.
Oh, wow.
The early pieces of Ultimate X-Men, I've gone back over the middle pieces several times. But the initial Ultimate X-Men is you can tell without knowing it that Mark Millar didn't know his X-Men. And in some ways that's good, in some ways it's not. This book is so to give you an idea of how different it is, Jean Grey is presented as like, how can I say this?
Make it plain, bro. Make it plain.
She's presented as like the loose girl. Like Wolverine and Jean Grey have sex within the first 4 issues, and she knows like Cyclops and her are a thing. So like Cyclops gets played out in the first 4 issues.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. Which okay, to be fair, again, coming in as inspired by the movie, right? Where we have Wolverine very much so, Hugh Jackman playing up this third wheel love triangle piece, and you go, okay, well, if they were teenagers though, the typical teenage thing, especially at the time, is to go for the bad boy and not the goody two shoes, guy that's always stable, always been there. It kind of works in a way, especially when you look at the idea of Wolverine's persona being this thing where he's like, listen, I'm gonna get what I want because that's what I do. Like, that's the thing that I'm best at. Whatever it is that I set my mind to doing, I'm gonna do it. If that's killing Charles, if that's taking your girl, it's happening. Like, I'm just telling you that right now. I'm that guy.
He's the best he is at what he does. Yeah.
So yeah. And I think that's the other thing too, is when the start of it with Ultimate X-Men, Wolverine is not shown until the very end. He's not really in the first issue at all. And the setup for what he's there to do is so very wildly different from anything that we had ever experienced with Wolverine before.
Speak on it.
So, okay, Wolverine at the beginning is a part of Magneto's Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and he is sent to kill Charles Xavier. And like a one-man army of sorts being sent in order to do this because Magneto's ready to, make some moves. He knows Charles is out there because him and Charles still have the previous relationship. which then gets taken by X-Men First Class, where Magneto is responsible for Charles being paralyzed. All these wonderful things that kind of like, oh, I see where, oh, you started this, oh, you put this there. Which again makes sense because Matthew Vaughn has a great relationship with Mark Millar. He's the one who did Kingsman. So like they have a relationship already, seeing how they've collaborated in so many different ways. But the idea of Wolverine kind of coming in being borderline straight up a villain, and he comes into the team with the intent to infiltrate it, tear it apart from the inside. So not only is he, actively pulling Jean because he can, he also knows that it'll sow some dissent amongst the team, and that fits what he wants as well. So there's so many different things that he's doing on a very, strategic level that is just dark, until he realizes, actually, like, I kind of agree with what you guys are doing, and he's going to turn on Magneto. So like that's kind of like the fun piece of the puzzle here, where you have this very violent, ruthless guy. Of course he would side with Magneto first, because that also is a very violent, ruthless guy. They would kind of have a simpatico until he has a reason to feel otherwise.
Till you pacify. I like to you call him a villain, because my dude was a villain in that moment. She straight up, there's a scene, I was flipping through it, where Jean says, I'm not particularly I'm not sure I particularly like you, Wolverine. They have a little back and forth, and then Wolverine's just like, why you find me so attractive then? I'm like, come on, dude, what?
Rizzler! Like, that's just him, man. Like,
and it's just this one panel of her biting her lip. I wish I knew. It's like, stop.
He could smell it, bro. Like, he knew he had
He
her.
really could.
Oh my god.
That's
Oh,
me.
you don't like me? You sure you don't like me? You sure? I don't believe you.
Oh man. Now I like to take a lot of notes when I do this. And normally those notes are things that I was thinking about in the moment, great quotes, stuff like that. The notes that I have for Ultimate X-Men are only quotes, because there are some lines in this book that are so fucking ridiculous that I needed to share them with you guys, because I don't know how many of you will have looked back on this book. So I'm going to read to you now some of the selections that I have chosen from the mouth of Mark Millar, who decided to write these lines for the X-Men. Why do I suddenly feel like a black guy drafting newsletters for the KKK? Anybody want to take a guess as to what character said that?
These are real questions.
Colossus.
Yes, it is Colossus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm cracking heads in the spina bifida ward here.
That would definitely be Beast.
It is Wolverine.
Oh, that's messed up.
I'm not a cruel man, you understand. It's been years since I've tasted flesh, human or otherwise.
Is that Blob?
You would think so, right?
Yeah.
No.
Also Wolverine.
It's Magneto.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Maggie was into some stuff, bro.
Okay, I got a question, clarifier, because Ultimate X-Men's 8 unknown for me. Is Magneto's origin similar?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Obey us, and you may live as our slaves and playthings. Disobey, and you will be categorized as mutant foodstuffs. Foodstuffs.
Is that also Blob?
It's Magneto.
God
Yeah,
damn it! What is
yeah,
with this Magneto
yeah.
and just liking to
Yeah.
eat things?
Eat stuff.
This
He's
dude-
hungry for humanity.
Yeah, Ultimate Magneto was a munch. Jeez.
Yeah, he was into it.
And then finally, this one is unfortunate, but this is what was written. These are not my words. Get out of my head, you stupid cripple.
Cyclops.
Cyclops.
I think that one was Wolverine too.
This is actually Magneto as well.
Again?
Oh my God.
Yo, all right.
Don't drop
Ultimate
any
Magneto
jewels.
canceled. Canceled.
Hey,
He's canceled.
hey, listen. Ultimate Magneto, he didn't care. Okay, he's like, listen, I've been through it all. I've seen it all. I will say what I want to say.
He was living in the Savage Lands. He was out of touch with the world.
Savage is the point right there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
He's the reason why I got the name. Like that's awful. Absolutely awful.
Look, I think that like I can see why this book was popular at the time. There's a lot of shit in here that to say it didn't age well is an understatement. I think Mark Millar's style of writing being so edgy you'll always run into this problem. Where in the moment when things are more acceptable, I guess, you go, oh, sure, you read through it. But then now here we are 25 years later, and it's sort of unfair to judge some of this stuff because times are different. But this was the style that Mark Millar was known for and was very successful with.
At the time, I loved Kick-Ass. I'm sure there are parts of Kick-Ass now. Maybe don't age too well.
But even some of like the plotting, like that feels different. Like the fact that there isn't a concern to deal with the fallout of Jean and Wolverine, and then he goes off to the other side because he's like, "Yo, this guy got my girl. Like, I gotta stick it to them." There are those things that feel very just plot driven. That I was sitting through reading, just like, okay, this is just happening. I see it, but it's just happening.
And the thing with like Millar too is like with Bendis and Ultimate Spider-Man, that feels very TV influenced and its pacing and all that. Millar always feels movie influenced.
Yes.
It feels like a big summer blockbuster event. Even in like the artists that are on the books too, it's very widescreen. And I can see that being a different approach to X-Men compared to mainline. Sure, there are both Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate X-Men are straying away from what comics are and branching off though in different directions, similar directions but slightly different.
I gotta read this because this shit is so funny. Jay Sage said, "No wonder and by that he means Magneto. No wonder his kids started wilding because we know all about."
Hey, if this is what Pops is on, yeah, siblings could be on some stuff too.
Oh, they were on it.
They were.
Read Ultimates 3. But you know what's interesting is that when you read even these early days Ultimate X-Men books, you can see that the relationship between Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver is not typical.
Yep. I just opened to the issue where he's leaving with Cyclops, like they're parting ways because he's now in Savage Land. And he's like, oh, and sounds like a usual request, but if you see Quicksilver around, just call me father. My man said, call him daddy. And then the next scene is them kind of chilling by the lake. They're getting kind of touchy, and then Sentinels attack, but still, like, what?
It's building up to it.
Yeah.
If those Sentinels hadn't attacked,
bruh, right there on the waterfront.
Yep.
Yep. Chris Lister in the chat says, I honestly didn't like Ultimate X-Men. Ultimate Spider-Man was just a reboot of Spider-Man, but Ultimate X-Men felt like it was just going for shock value, which took over the entire Ultimate line in the long term.
Which is fair. I think that's a fair critique. I think also the idea of the importance of what the X-Men represented would actually move to a global capacity. Same thing that kind of picks up in Grant Morrison's run, where you have this group of people that have been marginalized for so long. You go, there comes a turning point. If you look at Black culture, especially, we have been on the outs for so long, and then all of a sudden we start doing stuff where people are like, yo, that's hot, that's hip hop, I got to get a part of that. And now it becomes a global phenomenon. Why wouldn't you look at mutant culture in the same way? I would think the same thing with the LGBTQ plus community. There's aspects, there's language, there's dance, there's all kinds of fashion choices that now have permeated in other places, and it's kind of taking that idea like, no, this wouldn't always be on the peripheral. At some point, people would start to usurp, at the very least, aspects of that culture and take it onto themselves. And what would that look like? And I think that's a very smart move to kind of project where marginalized cultures kind of bleed into pop culture in a really big way.
And to that, in both in good faith and bad faith.
Yep.
I think my biggest problem with Ultimate X-Men during Millar's tenure is just what I think Chris said about the shock value aspect. Like, it just doesn't feel sincere. And Mark Millar isn't a sincere writer. And I don't even say that in a denigrating way. He takes the piss. He's a UK writer in the most UK writer sense. His way of telling stories is he often tells stories by way of what's the word I'm looking for? Satirizing it. So if you read Ultimates, for example, which we're going to talk about next week, a lot of people take his Ultimates at face value, and there's no way in the world that's what he meant you to do. It's obvious he didn't mean you to do that. But if you don't know Mark Millar's style, you don't know that.
Right. He's never trying to write the definitive take on anything. He's writing a take for the moment, and if it lives too long, then you go, well, this isn't right. You're like, well, it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be like right now. Like, you go back to his run on The Authority, and one of the last stories that he did with Art Adams, and they were fighting the character Seth. And the way to beat Seth was to say, welcome to the White House, President Al Gore. And it's the idea that this is a phrase that would never be said out loud. Like, there's no reason for anyone to ever say that. So that's why it was the kill code for Seth. That really only makes sense 25 years ago. People today, and I would say like in a really weird sort of way, have no context as to who Al Gore is. Even though he was vice president for like 8 years, they don't know that. That's not, it's not something in their purview. It's not something that has repeated. He hasn't necessarily continued his political career in an obvious way. So no one would understand, like, why was that even the thing to say? Because this was a moment in time where that was a very interesting sort of point of view.
You mean Al Gore, the environmentalist?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes. He, the same, who invented the internet. Like, that's,
It's a reference like Clinton versus Dukakis.
Right. People are like, what?
Do what is?
Do what?
Jeez.
Is that a car? That's a type of car, right? A motorcycle, maybe? No.
Aaron Ruiz says, this is an interesting thought. In my heart, X-Men Evolution is the real Ultimate X-Men. Everybody young except Logan and Storm.
Oh, I love that show. That and again, multimedia. That's where my first contact with the X-Men was, over the animated series.
Gotcha. And I do think that was a confluence of ideas too.
That was great.
Yeah. If Ultimate X-Men the comic was too edgy, X-Men Evolution was the right like centerpiece for more people to take advantage of it.
And a bit of team drama.
Yeah.
Atomic Count here says, Ultimate Spider-Man made me wonder what I was missing. Ultimate X-Men convinced me the answer was nothing.
Dang.
But already you can see, just even the way we're talking about these two titles, that there is a very different approach to storytelling in the Ultimate Universe. And at this moment in time, even as we get into Marvel Team Up, as we get into Ultimate Fantastic Four, which are outside of the purview of this conversation, but just keeping them in mind, only two writers would dictate the future of the Ultimate Universe for years. Years. Because Bendis stays on Ultimate Spider-Man until the end, but he also goes on to write other books within that space. Mark Millar stays on Ultimate X-Men for 33 issues, and of course you have Ultimates 1 and 2, and Ultimate Fantastic Four that he did. They have very, very different approaches. So the Ultimate Universe feels a little odd in that regard from the word go. If you read Ultimate Team Up #1, which has Wolverine in it, and you read Ultimate X-Men, it is a completely different character. They came out within 6 months of each other.
But very different versions of the same guy. Yeah.
And that's not because he grew as a character.
No.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's because Bendis was writing it.
Gotcha.
Right.
When Bendis writes Wolverine, it feels like Wolverine from regular Marvel. When Mark Millar does it, it's his Wolverine, for better or worse. That's his version.
Right.
The Rizzler.
Right.
So it's almost like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing.
Right. Now, I do want to point out, though, in a huge sense of irony, Millar's run of Wolverine work becomes that much more significant. Like, this first take, because people should definitely remember, like, this is the same guy who wrote Old Man Logan, which is how we got the movie Logan. And his understanding of what Wolverine could be changes over the next 10 years. Like it is he is just now like being identified to this character or introduced to this character when he's doing Ultimate X-Men. And so his take is, again, very edgy, very sort of like flippant, if you will, about what this is. And then as he goes on, he learns so much more about what Wolverine is capable of. That's when you get Enemy of the State. That's when you get, Old Man Logan. Like these are things where, when it comes to that place, you go, oh, this was a first take, but definitely not his best take.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. And it's interesting that his best take would come in mainline, not Ultimate, where he was an architect.
Right.
Kyle makes a great point. This is something that I was thinking about a little bit, but I love that you said it. I really liked how Ultimate Magneto's first arc was basically what he would finally accomplish in Ultimatum. Regardless of what you think about Ultimatum, the fact that it's Magneto who does what he does makes a lot of sense in the context of Ultimate X-Men.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
The cracks are already starting to form, not from a sales standpoint, but again, the difference in tone. And that is something we are going to tackle a lot more next week in the second part of our Ultimate Universe deep dive.
Claps.
Thank
Great
you.
stuff.
Thank you. Wonderful conversation so far.
Man.
Got in there, man.
I'm so upset that I will literally be at a show next weekend, so I can't take part in this, because when I tell you the Ultimates was pivotal to my writing process, the things that I learned while watching that come out changed me. Literally changed me. What I want you guys to address at some point, just do it for me, is understand the gap in time between Ultimates number 4 and number 5 coming out. There was like, I want to say it's like 5 months, 6 months. It was a long time in between those two issues. And the thing about it was, for as late as Ultimates 5 was, reading it and feeling like that delay was justified with what you got out of that story. And for me, that has been something that I have taken as a creative to go, if you're going to be late,
be great.
Make it worth it. Because that issue, I want to say it was in the first, knowing that the first 5 issues was literally supposed to be issue 1, and seeing how they took the time, decompressed it out. And when you had that 5th issue be so late, but you read it and you were like, worth it. Be late again. That's fine. Like, if this is what I get when you're late, okay. Like, it was that level of reading that it was, insane and beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
And it was cool to see Lindelof take that same approach when Ultimate Wolverine versus Hulk was delayed.
I don't know if it was quite as worth it. I'm gonna be honest with you on that one, but that particular issue though, for those that don't know, I'm gonna tell you what it is. It was them fighting the Hulk, and to see how that goes down. I mean, oh my god, so delicious, so delicious. And then you have one of the hardest moments Captain America has ever had, and when I say hard, I mean damn near cruel. No, I'm a spoiler. You know what? I'm not gonna be here next week. I'm a spoiler.
Who you?
So at the end of the fight, Bruce Banner, not the Hulk, Bruce is crawling out of rubble because they have finally figured out a way to take him down. And he's like, please don't hit me. Please don't hit me. I'm sorry I did this, blah, 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 blah. And Cap is like, I'm not going to hit you, but we got to address that gash on your cheek. And he's like, gash? I don't have any gash. And Cap kicks him in the face and is like, you do now. He kicks him in the face to knock him out, completely. But it was that is hard. That is the toughest thing I've ever seen Steve Rogers ever do. And God, it was delicious. It was delicious.
We are going to talk a lot about Ultimates, a lot. And now that I hear how important that book is to you, I really wish we could have you on.
It's all right. It's all right. Sorry, I got to have somebody else, sharing the revelry.
Well, you know who is going to come on next week and talk about the Ultimate Universe with us is Gavin Guidry.
Oh, and I love him too. Dang it. Rude.
Yeah, he's going to have takes on the art side of things. I mean, the story, of course, but like he's got deep thoughts about the art behind the Ultimates and how, and this is something I love to think about, how the art of the Ultimates, what Brian Hitch did, changed the way we look at comic books.
Victor, you mentioned Mark being sort of a mentor. Is there anything within the Ultimates that he, if you've spoken to him about it, that you would glean as like a nugget?
The decompressed storytelling was the biggest, because what it showed was let it breathe. Take the time to let the story be what the story is going to be. And ironically, a good friend of his, another friend named Mark, kind of read the first issue of Never Too Late, my follow-up to The Trouble with Love. And because they work together in terms of storytelling, things like that, I took Mark's, his feedback very strongly. And he was giving me notes like, this doesn't work, you got to start this issue all over. And this was interesting because I had already finished the artwork, like the production on it was already done. I had paid for it. There was no way that I was going to really be able to afford like scrapping that issue and starting all over again. So instead, what I did was I took all the artwork and like put scenes out, like print it all out and like laid out here on my floor and put scenes in different orders and put it together that way and send it back to him. And he's like, this is a totally different book. I'm like, no, it's the same book. And he's like, yeah, but you took out stuff. I was like, I took out one page. And he's like, this reads so much better. Wow. Like insane. And it was just the way that I had positioned it. It then decompressed the story in a different way where we had moments happening and then we did a flashback and then we had a moment happening in a flashback as opposed to it just all happening. And he was like, it reads totally different. And that was one of the best things I've ever been told.
That's incredible. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Now we have more show to do, if you can believe that. We are not done. So hopefully you guys will hang out with us. We've reached our goal. The goal we had in the chat was reached. So we are going to get to play a brand new special game that I think you guys are going to love. But the other thing that you guys did, because you went hard, you've gone hard for us all day. We've been here for almost 3 hours. You've gone hard for us all day. We have so many wheel spins we need to get in. So we will do those in just a moment. I also want to address this super chat that we missed from J Sage for £1.99. I'll never let them slander Jupiter's legacy. I'm with you on that. I love that.
My man.
That. Yep. We have a big announcement to make. Two major announcements to make. You guys are going to love this. This Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on this channel, we will be interviewing writer, artist extraordinaire, double threat, returning to the channel, Tilly Walden.
Ooh.
Love it.
Clementine, the Walking Dead video game spin-off comic book. That's so crazy. The Walking Dead got a spin-off video game that now that video game has a spin-off comic. Wow.
3 volumes worth.
3 volumes. She's going to return to talk about that, probably break my heart again, as she did last time. Can't wait to have a conversation with Tilly Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Nice.
Announcement number 2. There's a book coming out in a few weeks that is called Skinbreaker.
Oh.
That is written by Robert Kirkman. It is drawn by David Finch. And those two, right here. 2 Tuesdays from now, we will have Robert Kirkman and David Finch on the channel for the first time in Comics Pals history. I am overjoyed with this announcement. I can't wait. We will have them on Tuesday. We don't exactly know what time yet. We will update you with that piece, but it is happening. It is happening on Tuesday the 19th, or I'm sorry, the 12th.
Yep.
Tuesday the 12th. Robert Kirkman, David Finch, Skinbreaker interview right here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Two people who have worked on Ultimates books too.
Yes.
For Ultimate
Yes.
August. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll be able to pick their brain a little bit about that if they're willing. But we're going to talk all about Skinbreaker.
I wonder
Were
how.
they both Ultimate X-Men? Just at different times?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's a. I got to remember to. I'm going to jot that down. We got to talk to them.
I wonder how
awesome.
quickly it's going to take for Kirkman to bust one of our balls. I give it 30 seconds.
Yeah.
He's already doing it right now.
Yeah.
He's making notes. He's like, yep, I'm going to do it.
When I talked to him at New York Comic Con, I was like, Irredeemable Ant-Man is one of my favorite books. And he's like, you're a weirdo. I'm like, what? Sorry.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I remember I met him at New York, and it was during, what was it? I can't remember which season, but it was a premiere of Walking Dead was going to happen, but it was going to happen on my way back home. So like I couldn't watch it because I was going to miss it. He showed me like the first 10 minutes on his phone, and it was like the coolest thing ever. Cause I mean, he didn't know me. Like we had not interacted really at all. And so I was like, man, I'm so disappointed. I was like, tell me nothing cool happens. And he's like, I'm not gonna lie to you. And I'm like, what? And I was like, come on, man, sell me a dream, something. Like, tell me I'm not gonna miss it. Like, please. I was like, because I'm literally coming from the show, so I won't get to see it. And he's like, you want to see the first 10 minutes? And I'm like, yes, please.
You can
and
see
he like, literally showed it on his phone.
Don't Dead Open Inside on phone. Okay, I guess you can't say what you saw.
That's sick. That's really cool,
Yes.
man.
Kirkman is also one of those people that I look at as a friend and mentor. Like, high regard.
He's one of the ones, and you in particular, I got to imagine, and I'm telling you guys right now, we will do a Robert Kirkman month one day, because I have an insane level of respect for Robert Kirkman, and you, as a creator who has made your bones in the indie space, you have to look at him as like the guy, because he created the blueprints.
Let me tell you, the Kirkman Manifesto was
Yes.
so important to me.
Yes.
Was so important to me. It came out in 2009. I started my company in 2010. There is a reason. That's all I'm gonna say. That's exactly yeah.
And I maintain Kirkman is the most consistent guy in comics currently.
Yes.
And he's even though he's touched Hollywood, he's never left comics.
Right. Because that's his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Another
Kirkman
Midwest
Manifesto changed the game.
Yeah.
I to this day, I'm trying to find. Maybe you've seen it. I've seen it, but it's deleted from the internet. The battle, the verbal battle between
Bendis
and Kirkman. Yes, you have seen it.
Oh,
I'm
God,
not alone.
God, yes. Okay, so the place that you want to check out is Word Balloon. John Suntress, I think he has both of them.
Okay.
You gotta go back, but I think he has both of them, because I want to say he moderated the conversation between Bendis and Kirkman about it. And I will tell you without a shadow of a doubt, as much as I have huge respect for Bendis, I love Brian. I think Kirkman was more right in the conversation than he was. And it was the galvanizing thing that we needed to hear as indie creators, that we could do this. Yes, Bendis isn't wrong that they were breathing rarefied air, but the point of the matter was it didn't have to be relegated to just them. And that was the point that Kirkman was trying to make, that I don't think was being picked up.
Was this at Baltimore Comic Con in 2008?
Yes.
I have it.
No, not 2008. It was later. I want to say it was Baltimore.
September
but I think it was later.
27th, 2008 is when iFanboy has the video of the debate.
Whoa, you have the video?
Yeah, it's about an hour, 8 minutes long.
Oh, I thought the Kirkman Manifesto was 2009.
No, I'm looking at Word Balloon as well, and there's in 2008 Robert Kirkman,
Okay.
Marvel to the comics. Yeah.
All right.
You gotta send that to the chat, please.
Yeah.
I need to see that again.
Yeah,
That's iFanboy, man. That's my jam.
Man, that was a moment in time. Super important.
Wait, it's the video?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I haven't seen this in so long.
Yeah, I've not watched it. This might be some good car
you're
listening
gonna love
stuff.
It.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it.
I'm throwing it in Discord, so I have access to it.
If you care about the behind the scenes of comics and stuff like that, and how the industry changes, a must watch. When I watched it again, I was a teenager still. I was like, oh, Bendis, of course he's right. But I didn't know anything. I only knew what was happening in the books, and Bendis was my guy. As an adult who now does, this side of thing, I definitely understand that Kirkman was right. And it's funny because Kirkman in 2008 is Bendis in 1998.
which is crazy. Like, again, and their connection amongst themselves is great too. Bendis used to babysit Kirkman. You guys knew that, right?
I didn't know that.
Wait, like as a child?
Yeah.
And then he's debating his babysitter years later.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So again, you have that thing that always happens where you become the thing that you rallied against. And that's the point. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about Kirkman is that, like you said, as much as he's tapped Hollywood, he's never let go of his comic book roots. And I think more than anything, he has definitely looked for more people to cultivate and bring up to keep that comic book standing super high.
Oh man, I'm so hyped. Like I want to talk about this all day. I just want to do shows all day because I can't. I just want to talk.
You were doing it all night last night.
Yeah, I was live for 3 hours on
Nice.
on the Omnibros channel. Ted H with the 10 spot. I may never be a fan of this Ultimate Universe, but listening to you guys dive deep into it just feels great. And please, wonton noodles rule.
Love it.
Thank you, Ted. Appreciate you, brother. All right, we do have to move things along. And so we will do that now. We are not leaving the Ultimate space though, because as you know, this is Ultimate August, and we have to talk about our favorite Ultimate stuff. So we're going to do, for the month of August, our top 5 ultimatized characters. So the ultimate version or the ultimate, origin of some character from the universe. Now, Victor, you're not going to be with us here for the whole Ultimate August, but if there are characters you can think of who you love their ultimate version, please share it with us.
Number 1 is Thor. Ultimate Thor, the idea of placing the true reality factor of someone who's claiming to be a Norse god, we would say that person is crazy. And to play that up, that he was a nurse who had a mental break, spent time at a psych ward, and this is a delusion that he has. And this is all picked up and carried over by his brother Loki, who was like, listen, my brother's crazy. Like, that's not who he is. Yes, I know my name is Loki, but this is like, we're from like Scandinavia. Like, this is a name that happens, and like this isn't a thing. That was one of my favorites because it so grounds a huge character that could so easily go off the rails and not make sense. And when it came down to it, of proving what he said he could do, the ramifications that he puts forth in order to join the Ultimates is fantastic. He's like, listen, you gotta donate to our causes. We are going to. I have power, but I don't have finance, and I'm going to leverage what I can do to gain finance, and that's what he puts forth. And he's basically paid for to help support them. And it's such a, again, very timely, very on point, very modern take on what a superhero, let alone a biblical or godlike superhero, could be considered.
Yo, I forgot about how much I love Ultimate Thor until you just broke that down. Damn, you're right. Oh,
thank you.
Yes. Marco, how about you, man? Number 5.
My number 5 is Cap. I think it's a take on, like, a continuous take on a soldier, right? And so I had managed to read the first 3 issues of Ultimates for this again. I'm gonna keep running through it, but seeing the way that he his opening line is, get out there, ladies, we're not waiting for Christmas, or some to that effect. He's a military man. He's there. He salutes to the president. He's in it for the sake of the ideals. And I think that stays true. But I think he goes to deeper waters. He's able to go further, and I thought that's interesting. It maintains to some degree the core, or mostly the core, but he's able to go that much farther. And so he's number 5 because he isn't as transformative.
I do like that there was subtle hints that possibly, because of the era that he comes from, that he could have very misogynistic, if not racist, tendencies. When he calls out that Fury is like sorry, the highest ranking black man in the military is a captain. Like, no, I don't believe you. That was such a, you're like, that's where he comes from.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yep. It felt realistic.
Full disclosure, my knowledge of Ultimate is not quite there. So this was, a bit of not a challenge, but it was a little different for me. My number 5 is Ultimate Hawkeye, actually. I do like the way Clint is a soldier. And throughout it, I mean, he's a soldier in this world this team full of like superpowered individuals. And it kind of leads him to go a little nuts at some point. There was, I think it was the Madrox thing. So when I was, kind of looking at select issues in the Savage Land, he starts killing these things and he starts to like it. And he has to like kind of pull himself away from that. And also that second costume he has, the first one's fine. The second one that Hawkeye has with the purple and he's got the mask on, love that costume. That's one of my favorite just Ultimate designs.
Ultimate Hawkeye is a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
A monster.
Yeah.
A monster.
And that's what I kind of like about him.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This
is he the one that kills Quicksilver?
I think so. I don't fully remember.
Like he was trying to kill Magneto and he
Quicksilver runs into the
yeah.
in Ultimatum.
Yes. That's where I remember Ultimate Hawkeye too, is Ultimatum. Yeah.
It's when he gets his family when they come to his house and he gets shot and drops in the kitchen and he's like, you shouldn't have dropped me in here. Like you should have killed me in like the living room. It was safer for you to kill me try to kill me in this living room. What he does with fingernails. Woo! Just
he's almost like Ultimate
that.
Bullseye. Like he's a combo of like Bullseye and Hawkeye.
Tyler, you said you haven't read that?
I haven't read all of Ultimate Hawkeye stuff. Yeah, I have a lot of the Ultimates I strayed away from because I thought I was too, as the kids say, grimdark. So I kind of avoided it. Yeah,
that's fair. There's a scene where you find out what he's willing to kill you with.
Yeah. Is he just John Wick?
Yes, and better. Because there's some aspects where like with John Wick, you give him a gun, he's doing some crazy stuff. This is like he's telling you like the scale at which he's willing to go to hurt himself to hurt you
cool.
is better than John Wick. John gets hurt for sure, but it's not like I'm hurting me so I can hurt you.
Hawkeye will give himself a compound fracture to take a bone piece to go.
He can stab you. Yeah. Yes, that's Hawkeye.
Okay, yeah, justified my pick then, even though he's nuts.
Before I get into my pick, we have to acknowledge the atomic bomb that Gabra Nerd dropped on us. 10 Comics Pals gifted memberships. Gabra Nerd, huge shout out to you. Thank you so much for doing that. That is beyond the pale. Thank you, brother.
I got these names. Thank you so much once again, Jenna. You got Jamzilla, Rami Darwish, Brian Twelvish, Jonathan Chow, Tate, Pete Collins, Angel Rosales, Matt Cosmos, Ruben Reyes. That's everybody.
Look at those names. Nice. Look at those names. Beautiful people. People who show up every single week. I know most of you. I don't know Jenna. Hello, Jenna. I don't know Tate. Hello, Tate.
Jenna's been in the comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Mixing it up. Break lurk. I know people love the lurk. Break lurk. Let's talk. This community is all about it. We love you guys. There's no danger here. No stranger danger. But you know what happens on this YouTube channel when you gift memberships. We bet it back. We gift it right back. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to gift 5 memberships right back.
I got it locked and loaded. Oh, you got it.
Oh, it's done.
Done. Put those emojis in the chat you guys have access to.
Yes.
Damn, yo, we got TJ, the Nova Syndicate, Victor Botino, Nuki Brown, Jack, and Pre-owned Glue?
Pre-owned. Certified.
Oh, pre-owned.
Certified pre-owned.
Certified pre-owned.
Congratulations to the new channel members. Make sure you check out your exclusive videos behind the channel membership. And we're going to start doing a lot more channel member exclusive stuff. You guys remember the talkbacks that we've done? We're going to bring that back very soon. So all of our new channel members will get to indulge in some really fun stuff. So thank you for that. My number 5 is Gwen Stacy.
Ooh.
The Ultimate Gwen Stacy is about as radically different
Mm-hmm.
from mainline as you could get. And one of the biggest complaints about Gwen Stacy, OG Gwen, is that she's kind of not really a character. She doesn't have much of a personality. And so, yes, Peter pined after her, but who is she? Well, Brian Michael Bendis decided to answer that question in a modern context. So, whereas OG Gwen was this beautiful, very studious, prim and proper woman, Ultimate Gwen is a punk kid. She's all punk rock, cool as shit. She's got the armbands with the spikes on them. You know, she brings a knife to school and tries to use it to defend Peter when he's being bullied. So she's in the book and MJ are in the book almost from the word go. And the places that Bendis takes Gwen Stacy would blow your mind. Did you know? Do you know the identity of Ultimate Carnage?
Is it Captain Stacy?
No. It's Gwen Stacy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Real,
which I think
real punk.
was like an early like precursor to Spider-Gwen. Like the idea of her doing it, you're like, oh.
1000%. Because the idea of Gwen being an active character, having powers, any of that came from this, as far as I know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We're going to be hitting you guys with our top 5 all throughout. Yeah, Gwen Stacy is Avril Lavigne, Hayden's Hideout. Yeah, totally. I think Avril predates. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I think Gwen might predate Avril's ascent because I think Avril Lavigne popped in like 2002-ish. But in any event, totally. You can look at it that way, certainly. And before we move on, I wanted to get Samuel Summers' comment about his top Ultimate characters, since he's the one who triggered all of this to begin with. And he shouts out Ultimate Green Goblin, Ultimate Doc Ock, and Ultimate Spider-Man. So thank you for that. We've got a couple of news items to get into today. One of them, the first one, they're all Ultimate related. Coming out of San Diego Comic-Con, these are the things that we learned about the Ultimate Universe. We'll start with Ultimate Endgame. Ultimate Endgame, we talked about it a little bit a couple of weeks ago when we learned about it initially. We didn't know many details, but now we do. Now we know exactly what to expect, at least from a creative team standpoint. Dennis Camp and Jonas Scharf are the creators chosen to spearhead the Maker's Grand Return, which we have been building to for the last 2 years. This will be a 5-issue event with Dennis Camp, Jonas Scharf, and more is also teased. So who knows if there will be, if that refers to additional writers and artists who will be involved, or maybe they're talking about colorists and letterers. But either way, those are the creators who will be a part of this book. Dennis Camp had this to say about writing Ultimate Endgame. This is the craziest and most impactful crossover I've worked on. I'm really excited about it. It's all the characters, everyone coming together in this big way, coming up against each other in a big way, and the resolution of some long plot threads we've all been seeing. It's very big, very dramatic, and with the Ultimate Universe, we can change the world. We can actually do it as creators because we have this incredible playground that Marvel has not just allowed, but encouraged us to use. It's such an honor to do something like this. It's been amazing, and this culmination of a lot of what we've been doing together.
Nice.
Very exciting. Nice. I have until the 31st of December to catch up on some of the books I haven't been reading.
Yeah, you do.
Which ones haven't you been?
Black Panther, and I have to catch up on X-Men.
So half the line. Cool.
Yeah.
Victor, are you reading all of the current Ultimates books?
No.
Or I know you mentioned USM.
Yeah, I tapped out on all of the on the X-Men ones. No diss to Peach Momoko. Just wasn't where I was as a reader at the time. So I will definitely go back to see how that shapes. But was intrigued by Ultimate Black Panther initially. There were aspects of it that I was like, this is fun. Like I just like the funness of it. But I was very afraid of it very quickly becoming the Black Ultimates book. And I was like, that's not quite my jam either. Like I want to see a little bit more of the world fleshed out. So Ultimates is what I kept up with to kind of keep that going so I could see what the world looks like. And then Ultimate Spider-Man was just so very fascinating to me as the idea of a failed to launch Peter Parker. Like, what does that look like when the key facet of what motivates him is still around by Uncle Ben? You know, it's not necessarily that a lot of great things have happened, but just what does it look like when the thing that has moved him is not there? And, you know, what does it look like? So yeah, that I enjoyed.
I think the reaction to Ultimate Endgame has been bizarre. I really do. There are a lot of people who are down on this. A lot of people, for some reason, think this is going to be the end of the Ultimate line, which it's clearly not. I mean, was Avengers Endgame the end of the MCU?
No, but I think it should have been. But that's just me.
Oh, wow!
Listen. Okay, just to clear the air, I think it should have been the end of the MCU for a time. And what they should have done was restarted with the characters that they didn't have access to at the time. Kind of a reboot of sorts. Much in the same way that Star Wars, people forget this, Star Wars was absent for almost 20 years before we got the prequel trilogy. That's what I think this should have done. It should have been like, mic drop, we're not going to beat this, not right now, at the very least. We've set too high of a bar, so let's leave it alone for a few years, and then we'll come back and we'll see if I can tell a different story.
What's the film you're opening with?
Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it should have happened if they had the rights originally. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on this one. Yeah, that way you can also, it's clear and cut to do new actors and all that.
Yes.
And you had COVID at the time, so it like the world was giving them signals.
You had the opportunity to be like, no, we're good.
But at least we got WandaVision, I guess.
Yes.
You guys are nuts.
I'm just saying.
Pull the ripcord.
Come on, listen.
Honestly, I think they should do it
either die the hero or you live long enough to become the villain. And at this point,
and that villain is Quantumania.
You better pause right now, because did you see Fantastic Four or not?
I've seen it twice.
Yeah, and I wasn't into it.
And I had notes.
Was it
Notes?
okay? You can have notes.
I have notes.
You can have notes.
Yes.
But was it good though?
It was entertaining.
Oh, I think Victor and I might be on the same page here.
It was entertaining.
No.
It was entertaining. Was it what I needed? No. Because what I still feel in my heart, in my deepest heart, The Incredibles is still the best Fantastic Four movie that ever exists.
I literally
and
said that on the podcast.
should not be the case anymore. That should not be the case anymore.
Yep. It is funny that Michael Giacchino scored 2 Fantastic Four movies.
Yes, indeed.
Technically 3.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Sean. I'm sorry. This might be my last time on the show, guys.
No, I'm with you. I'll send you the link. I got you.
No. I mean, there's listen, if I told you what I would have started this movie off with and what I think the storyline should have been, a conversation I did have with Rob, and he's like, you're insane. There's no way they could do that. I'm like, why couldn't they? And he's like, I don't know why, but they just couldn't do that. It would have, yeah.
Look, I've debated Rob on this channel. Everybody agrees I trounced him. I will debate you, and I guarantee you, you will not leave me speechless. Nobody leaving me speechless.
What's your pitch?
No, we don't have time for that.
Oh, damn it. All right.
I was about to give it.
We definitely can't do that today.
There's a whole Saturday episode we could talk about rebooting the MCU and then have Victor on. Yeah.
Victor is going as long as he's down, you will see Victor on this channel very regularly. So we will definitely talk about that. I love it. Even if we don't agree, I deeply enjoy your takes.
The conversation is what it is. So that's my man.
Exactly. Want to shout out the phenomenal AC who took the plunge and became a Comics Pals VI Pal today. You guys are showing us so much love today. It deeply impacts me how much love you guys are showing today. We asked, you answered. Thank you, phenomenal AC. You're a real one. And he just joined the Discord as well. So thank you for that.
Nice. Also, shout out to Michael DeFonte Says, don't forget your Comics Pals merch. Link in the description. The Comics Pals hoodie is pretty cool. You bet it is.
Nice.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. I don't even have a Comics Pals. I need to get me one.
That's true. We should probably do that before any events we have coming up. Actually, now that I think about it. Yeah.
I have all of mine. I got the sweater. I got the
All right,
shirt.
Marco,
I got
you're a
the
little more
tote.
organized than us. Okay. Oh, your performative New York City tote
Yeah, that's right. That's
All
right.
right.
I gotta carry it.
while you're listening to Leifei with your mustache and your matcha.
Ooh, dude! Oh, walking down in Brooklyn, got my little.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're shaking your matcha from the top. You know.
And by the way, Jay quoted me. Everyone agrees I trounced him. I love Rob. I'm totally joking. Rob's awesome.
Said
We had a fun
self-glaze.
He's gonna call me in a minute. He's like, so during the show, and I heard what Sean said.
Oh, you got to get Rob back on here too.
Oh my God, yes.
But yeah, like I think the reaction to this has been a little bit weird. I think Dennis Camp and Jonas Scharf in particular have done great stuff in the Ultimate line, and I really don't. I don't think I have a ton of concerns about this. I mean, is Dennis Camp an unproven commodity when it comes to crossovers and events? Yes, that is true. We haven't seen what he does in that space. Is the Miles Morales or Ultimate Spider-Man incursion book weird? Yeah, it's fucking weird. But it's not this. It's not everything they've been building around. I think if there wasn't a trust factor in Dennis Camp, they would have just gotten Hickman to do it.
True.
Yep, exactly. He feels like the next runner-up for everything that's going on, not only in this universe but in other within other spaces. So I think this is the proving ground. If he nails this on the head, he's that next super guy.
All Hickman did in terms of this Ultimate Universe is do incursion, really. Spider-Man's kind of been doing its own thing. He's telling like a separate story there, really. Whereas Camp really took the reins in Ultimates 1 to tell this greater universe story.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Ultimate Invasion was just a framing device.
Yeah.
And that's it.
This whole Ultimate Universe grand story is a Camp story. So he was the one that should be doing this.
Yeah, I agree. But that's not the real Ultimate news that has everybody in a tizzy, including me. What was announced at San Diego Comic-Con regarding Ultimate Spider-Man is that issue 24 is the last issue of Ultimate Spider-Man.
Huh?
Let me
That's
say
not
that
like
again.
a seminal number.
Huh?
Like why 24? Like that's
Why not 25?
right.
Well,
Big Kiefer
24 is-
Sutherland fan.
It's 2 years. It's 2 years. It's a clean break.
2 years. Yeah. 2
Uh,
years clean. Yeah,
It's
sure.
math.
I mean-
It's math.
Sure.
I guess
You
that's
know.
comic math, yeah.
How many books are in a trade?
4 to
6?
Don't do that.
Six.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right.
Six, 4? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Still
Now-
like it.
This is what Hickman had to say. This was everything that I pitched. Nothing has deviated. It's been really nice to execute the plan well, and everything culminates into this issue. Fans of the Ultimate Universe are going to love it. It's been a real pleasure being the writer of Ultimate Spider-Man.
Everything that you pitched and it being 24 issues is not the same thing.
Right.
This could have been the grand scheme of his A to Z. But this also could have been longer. You know, it feels, you know, we talk about decompressed storytelling. This has been compressed in weird shots.
Right.
Each issue just feels like a shot of Ultimate Spider-Man.
Now, do you think that maybe he took inspiration from Mark Millar's run on Ultimates? Each volume of Ultimates is only 12 issues.
No.
I think this is fitting the schema that they have with the time frames, the month-over-month piece. This is saying goodbye, sure, to this, right? But with everything that's going on the week right after, because this is the last issue is on the 24th. The following week, the 31st, you get the Ultimate Endgame. Right from there, surely this is that volume 1. Oh, we're gonna relaunch with all new, all different Ultimate Spider-Man team. It's gonna be Hickman and Chichetto.
It's gonna be Zeb Wells.
Yeah.
Imagine. All right. We've all said our piece. Victor, do you have anything you want to say about Ultimate Universe ending?
Yeah,
or Ultimate Spider-Man?
Go ahead, Sean. You want to push up the soapbox?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's time for me to get on my soapbox.
Do it.
Okay. Everybody who has been in the comments talking shit about how I've been wrong about Ultimate Spider-Man, where are you now? Where are you now? Tell me now. Tell me now that Ultimate Spider-Man's pace has been okay. Tell me now that Ultimate Spider-Man has told a full story about Peter Parker as a father with a family. Tell me now, when we have seen the kids, at least the daughter, in about, 3 of the issues? Tell me now how important it was for Uncle Ben to still be alive and how much of that has been utilized. Tell me now that we got a fully fleshed out Peter Parker. I can't say that any of those things are true. Whether you like the book or not, argue with me about those facts. This run around with Ultimate Spider-Man, to me, for my money, is a flash in the pan. And it feels hollow because the month-over-month scheme, plus this only being 24 issues, doesn't fill my belly. This doesn't fill my belly. And whatever's coming after this, be that as it may, I'm not prejudging. This did not work. This didn't work.
Yeah. Hickman, in this announcement, I don't know if this was at San Diego or during this press briefing, he mentioned he did this for his son. He said his son is the biggest Spider-Man fan, and his son wanted him to write Spider-Man. And that's why he took this up. And I can see one of the only real plot lines in this is the father-son relationship.
Yeah.
In this. And that seems to be the real anchor Hickman has in here. I think we don't get enough time with that because he has plots B through Z that he still has to tell in this. So it doesn't get to have its time. But this did just seem like an experiment for Hickman.
Yeah. And that's unfortunate. I feel like if anybody that could have done or has done a flash in the pan story of Spider-Man that worked, and it was his kid that was the reason, was J.J. Abrams when he did that. Like, that was a fully fleshed out, like, oh, wow, that's cool. And then you can move on, and it's not as big of an investment from us as readers expecting it to be more than that. Like, that, I think that's the biggest thing, is we were definitely expecting this to be something that was going to change how we saw Spider-Man moving forward. And it's not.
I think what Marvel wanted for it and what Hickman wanted for it were two separate things.
Yes. I can definitely agree with that.
This, and the sales do not reflect what I am saying. The sales for this book are tremendous, and hats off, and that's phenomenal. This, to me, was a failure. There won't be 20 years from now a deep dive into these 24 issues. I'm sorry.
There's not enough material, he said.
What is there to dive deeply into? Nothing happened.
Yeah. And again, to compare directly to, we'll say, volume 1 and 2 of Ultimates, both of those were written to be, each volume is like a standalone movie, right? And so then the volume 2 is a literal sequel. I can't say that in this run of Ultimate Spider-Man, there's been enough that I would be like, that's movie 1. And then here's movie 2. Like, it doesn't feel that way in the narrative that we've gotten. So it is going to come up short in that regard.
I mean, we've talked about it. Even that first arc where we're supposed to meet and end with Kingpin, man, flat, dude. Like, no oomph, no energy. And that's disappointing. That was one of the earlier signs of just like, where's this going?
And then we know, like, Ultimate Spider-Man was probably first architected by Donny Cates at a certain point. I wonder if this just reiterates the fact that Hickman's in his Hitman phase. Marvel wants Hickman to do stuff, and he does it. He did it with Alien versus Avengers.
Hey, now.
Which I liked. I enjoyed it. It felt like maybe Gods was similar to that too.
Mm.
And he's doing it in a similar way for Imperial. Yes, it's stuff that he likes, but there is a bigger a reason for it on the Marvel landscape. He's just the hand that Marvel has.
But then that to me reads as there is not direction as much as there is I have a strong asset that I will put output so that he can put out output so that I can bank on it. Not because, oh, this is the grander world of whatever it is.
Right.
And Imperial's giving flavors of that, but now I don't know. If this was the biggest commitment that they had, the new Ultimate Universe with the flagship title of Ultimate Spider-Man, and we're going to coalesce here, I don't know.
Ultimate's has kind of felt like this Ultimate volume has felt like they've had a box of puzzle pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time, Dennis Camp has been trying to put those pieces together. And we've been actively seeing it throughout a year and a half. And maybe we'll have that full puzzle piece by Endgame happens. And then we can go ahead and see what the story is. But Hickman's been on the side quest.
A lot of these books have.
They all feel like they're on a side quest because they told us what the quest was from the word go, and then they immediately stopped dealing with it. That's a weird way to launch a line. And when you compare it to the OG Ultimate Universe, and I wanted to save this take, but fuck it, the OG Ultimate Universe doesn't feel temporary.
Right.
It feels permanent because it has nothing to do with mainline. It starts in media res, right? Like it's just here we are. Here we go. It just starts. There is no bigger reason. There is no plot. It's just here we are.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, it felt like something that could go on forever as long as they wanted to. The Ultimate Universe has always felt like it had a short life, a shelf life, but no book more so than Ultimate Spider-Man because of Hickman.
And the mandate, right, was let's deal with these lieutenants. We'll sprawl out of, the gods pieces. Let's deal with the lieutenants. But it meanders to get to that because to that point, the last issue, or the most recent issue rather, of Ultimate Spider-Man, they were getting into like, what is it, Kingpin's, into his hair about stuff, and he's getting annoyed, and oh, they're tearing they're trying to get at us, they're tearing the family apart. But like that's all it's been. And Ultimate X-Men, yeah.
The thing is, Kingpin's not even one of the lieutenants.
Right.
He has a boss. That's who his lieutenant is. So it's so removed from the Ultimate Invasion / Ultimates of it all.
Right.
It's craziness. The comical wonder with the 199. The writers who will fill the meat have a job. That's one way to put it.
I need that pause. I need that pause emoji.
Entertain me with the 5 spot. Sean, buyers of Ultimate Spider-Man are only about Peter and MJ being married, not liking it in hopes that it would influence Marvel to make that part of mainline also. I understand what you're saying. I personally feel like a lot of people say that this was a make good for fans who are frustrated by mainline Spider-Man. I don't believe that. I think that they just gave Hickman or Cates the reins and said, do what you want. This is what they chose to do. I don't think that the success of this book will have any impact at all on mainline Spider-Man. I don't even think Marvel thinks like that.
I would say it has negative impact.
Yep.
It has made me less excited for Hickman stuff because I feel like he's in Sean, to put it in wrestling terms, his Shinsei Nakamura surfing phase.
Sure.
He's not doing, 5-star matches at Corcoran Hall anymore. He's on he's just doing whatever they need him to do. And it kind of made me a bit of a bummer on Chichetto, and I don't know whose fault it was. But having to be ping-ponged back and forth with Chichetto's art, like once I see the art, it's like, God damn, this is so good. But and that David Messina, great artist as well. But I don't think they meshed. And seeing them ping-pong back.
Because the big moments, whether they were supposed to be for Chichetto or Messina, whatever it is, right, that inconsistency makes those bigger moments flatter.
Yeah.
And to my opinion is, I think Tyler said it proved the opposite point. I take that away from Hickman. I say it proved the opposite point about the marriage of Peter and MJ. It shows if Jonathan Hickman, Marvel's best writer in the common opinion, right? If he could not take Peter and Mary Jane, give them kids, and tell a story that's genuinely compelling, I don't see any reason to do this again.
Why do you even give him 2 kids? Just give him 1.
That's all he could handle.
Because of Mayday. Because of that legacy character that has no need to exist in the Ultimate Universe other than the fact that she existed elsewhere.
It was needed for the issue 1 variant covers.
Word.
Yeah.
Word, that too.
Silv, I got you. In reference to your earlier soapbox, Sean, Atomic Hound said, Mount Sean, seismic alert, we have spewage, evacuate children, shelter in place.
No offense, Hound. I never want to hear about Sean Spewage again.
That's a little nasty. Jay Sage with a 199. It's all about the marriage. Story? Nah. Well,
Is it about the marriage, dude? Anytime there's conflict, Mary Jane's like, "Oh, I understand, honey," or "Take your pants off."
Bro, I'm looking at the issue 24 cover, right? With all these white folks on the cover. I can't pin. I'm seeing some of these people like, who the fuck is this? Like, there's that one in front of, like, on the left hand side below Shocker. I think she shows up in the last issue of Ultimate Spider-Man. She's like one of the Mysterio people. And then, like, I think that's Mr. Negative, who looks like Paul on the bottom near his foot. It's just like none of these characters really stuck with me. We don't even get a full arc for Otto in this. Probably not.
He was in the background, so wasn't he like staying at the Parker's residence or something?
I don't even know. Yeah, he's a punchline.
Yeah.
Gabber Nerd with the 2 spot. It hasn't been perfect, but I've really loved it, and I'm happy for you. This is not to say that anybody shouldn't love it or that your feelings about it are invalid. Nothing like that. I'm not challenging the quality on a subjective level. I'm challenging, did this achieve the goal? Did this do the job?
Right.
And I don't think the answer could be yes.
Right.
Now we have banked a ton of wheel spins.
What's a ton? Did you count a number?
I'm about to. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wheel spins that we owe. Well, we did one.
We did one, yeah. Which was
one.
do you know your pals?
Do you know your pals?
Yeah.
So we're gonna play that real quick. And Marco, what I need you to do while I'm talking is put up a poll that has my name, Tyler's name, and your name in it. All right. So which one of these does this apply to? You know, something like that. Just make it up, but our names. And so here's what's gonna happen. I'm going to tell you guys something that is true.
Okay.
And you're going to tell us which of the pals this applies to. All right. So do you know your pals? Which one of the comics pals didn't appear on one of the first 5 episodes of the show in order to have sex? This is true. Chat. Who is it? Who am I talking about?
Victor, I'm curious. Do you know this lore?
I have heard tale of this story. You know, listen. For all of us geeks out there, I understand, man. Okay, listen. There was a time where being geeky, the notion of nookie was so far from a certainty that you kind of have to risk it. And if you are truly my pals, you will understand. You will be in the trenches with me, okay? Hoping that I come back with stories of lustful enjoyment. Like that's just kind of how I see that.
Risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah. Yes.
The notion of nookie is forever in my vernacular now.
That's phenomenal.
That's
a writer. That's a writer right there.
As a geek, I just thought that was an Limp Bizkit song. I wasn't seeing that in person, you know.
Oh yeah. No.
And I want to call out whoever when this shit went up, there was one vote. So someone voted for me right out the gate. That shit said 100% Sean. I'm like, damn.
He said, listen, y'all are my pals, but
Oh man. Okay. Well, chat knows clearly. So I'm gonna end the poll right now. Because you guys nailed it number one with a bullet.
Nailed it.
Marco, why don't you read off those results, man?
Do you know your pal? Sean at 18%. Tyler at 31%. Marco at an astounding 50%. I don't know who told you this story. I don't know what you guys have heard, but slander, first of all.
And y'all voted for me, an incel?
wait,
Come on.
wait. Why is it slanderous that you would get Nookie? Like, where are you going with the slander part? What is it that you are saying is slanderous? Because Marco, I can see you pulling.
Bro, I
Marco,
I mean, that's all I'm saying.
He said, bro, I pull.
Listen,
ASAP.
Who's the ultimate Rizzler? I think.
Victor, I like this reframing. You're right, dude. You're right. This is the moment where I own it.
Embrace it. Embrace it.
You're right, dude. 100%. Yeah, you know what? Episode 2, I said, oh, sorry, guys.
My favorite fact that it's episode 2. Like, that's how good your commitment was to the podcast.
That's right. Hey,
and Tyler, knowing Marco, does that surprise you?
Not at all.
Wow. Okay, now that might be slanderous.
Not at all. No, I mean that. I mean that in like the best way possible. Because honestly, I would have been like, yeah, I get it.
That's funny.
If I have to bail, and thankfully we're gonna have equipment now. Like if I need to bail to pull a Marco, I would hope I'd have some grace.
Listen, bro, it's a different circumstance. All right, you're in your situation, which I am fully invested in your success.
My situation.
Okay?
Jeez.
Well, listen.
I don't need to take another cross-country flight.
There you go. Marco's situation at that time was quite different. My man had a girlfriend.
Fair.
Fair. And the parents only worked certain times.
Hey, listen. Just think about this, Marco. What you were was the father of that visual meme of people playing video games, and all of a sudden their girl walks in the room, and they're like, guys, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Same thing. Okay, that's all I'm saying. You were the pioneer.
I was like, guys, AFK real quick. Sorry.
You said the father Marco reeled.
He did. I'm sorry. Knock on wood.
Mike Hank is calling it the Marco protocols. Jarvis, initiate Marco protocol.
I got to pull a Marco. I'll be back.
You know exactly what that means. Oh my God, super job. I would have voted in the poll, but I was having sex.
Too busy to vote.
Wow. It's real.
Insane.
All right.
Oh,
should I spin this again, Sean?
Yeah, let's run it. That's the kind of fun we can have with this wheel now.
Love it.
All right. We need this thing to.
Yeah, hurry up.
All right, you got a timer for Marco?
Yeah, I sure do.
It's Marco's minute.
It's Marco's minute, and in this minute, you're going to explain why.
Explain yourself.
You abandon your podcast to have sex. Here is your timer.
Here we go.
Go.
Dude, I'm going to tell you what happened afterwards, okay? So, to finish up with business, we hear the door jingle. The dog starts to bark, and then all of a sudden the keys start to jingle. The door starts to hand up. Uh-oh, I got to dive under the bed. Her dad walks in early that day. And I was like, oh, how's it been going? Blah, 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 et cetera, talking to my the girl at the time, right? I'm under the bed, just stiff as a board.
Under the bed?
Hold on a second. Not trying to move. And
still, bro. Wow.
And she's trying to convince him, oh, let's go walk the dog. Let's go out. We got to do we can't be here. He comes, he sits on the bed. He's watching TV, and I'm freaking out. Finally, gets convinced, walks the dog, leaves the door unlocked for me. I run out. I see them walking up the block, and I run the opposite direction as quickly as possible around the corner. Escaped. Unscathed.
Good job.
Marco is a Minuteman.
Wow, dude. You did it.
Have you seen this young lady recently?
No.
Okay.
No.
Let me just explain in parental parlance. you have outed her in the greatest way possible. Her father's still gonna be mad about this, like right now.
I think
When
he's
he
got other
sees
reasons to
this-
be mad.
I'm just saying, like he's gonna watch this episode and be like, "Son of a bitch!" Like it's gonna happen. You're gonna get a text and be like, "Did you tell this story?" And you're like, "It was however long ago." Like
she ain't listening to the podcast.
No,
Oh,
but
no.
her dad is. Her dad is listening to the podcast. That's what it is.
First of all, who killed me in the chat? Carter M. That's Owl Shogunate, I'm pretty sure. What's up, dude? He said Marco's minute is a crazy description of this occurrence. My man skipped out on a 2-hour podcast. For
Hey.
Talk about compressed storytelling.
It's because we were cuddling. It's because we were cuddling. That's what got us.
Aftercare, good old aftercare.
Yes.
All right, let me spin this again.
Cuddles matter.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow.
I hate how this
Phenomenal.
wheel has like a weird nipple I gotta hold on to. It went on a blank space, so I'm gonna go with the nearest one, which is lie to Marco.
Oh, my
cool.
god.
Wow.
What a Marco-centric episode.
Yeah.
Lying to Marco. That's one of my favorite pastimes. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wait, Victor. Give me a deep pull on some kind of comic book knowledge and then a blatant lie that sounds like I might believe it. And if you make it about the big two, it's more likely to hit.
And he has to decide which one is legit, right?
Tell him
Yeah.
a truth and a lie. Basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay. No, I got you. And you want it to be about the big two specifically, or it can be any sort of.
It could be anything, but you're more likely to hit my lack of knowledge for the big two.
Got you. Do they have to be connected?
No.
Okay. All right. All right. So these two, which I think is very interesting. So Dennis Camp, who we've been talking about, got his start with Millar World. He was one of the prize winners for Mark Millar's writing contest, and what he like. We'll say that's one. And then number two is that he very specifically got the cosign for Mark to work on. Wait. Which one was that? It was after Mark sold to Netflix. Space Bandits. That's what it was. That he got the call to help write the pitch for Space Bandits.
Space Bandits. I haven't heard of Space Bandits.
Do you have another story? Or no. We can leave it there. Is it a truth or a lie?
Those were
Right,
two.
it's
Those are
just
two
a lie.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
right,
two
right.
things.
Two
Those are
Two things:
things.
winning the contest and then doing the
Yeah.
pitch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Dennis Camp's. I feel like a guy who has the skill. I don't know that he'd necessarily win the contest. He would win the contest, but I don't know if that's the way he makes his way. I'm gonna say that's the lie, that he won the contest.
Okay. That is actually the truth.
Damn it!
Yeah. He's from the Millar World talent search.
Ah!
Yeah.
You did like a creator roundtable of Millar on Millar's
Mhm.
podcast. Yeah.
I love how easy it is to lie to Marco. that's the whole impetus for this bit.
That's
It's
so
just
wild.
lie to
That
Marco.
is so wild.
All right, I'm gonna spin this again.
Yeah.
Just trusting, dude.
Yeah, that's the word.
I mean, I tried my best to sell that lie. I am.
All right. Do you know your pals? All right.
Okay. Now I'm gonna take this one on faith. Well, I mean, it could be about me, so who knows? But Marco, we're gonna put up another poll, and the question is, which pal kissed Muhammad Ali? Which pal kissed Muhammad Ali? That is deep lore. So who did it?
The boxer?
Typing fast.
I hope so. Lucas.
It's just some
Random
guy
guy.
named Muhammad Ali. It was an experimental phase in one of our college careers. Yeah.
Lucas said, I got to work at 4 p.m. at my part-time job. Will y'all still be live? Absolutely
knows?
not. We are not crazy. Well, it's almost been 4 hours. So we're
Yeah, I was
a
gonna
little
say,
crazy.
like it's only 2.5 hours from now, man. It's not impossible. Depends
Victor,
on where the
you're
thought
a-
train goes.
You're a road warrior, bro. I'm glad you're still kicking with us. We're almost done.
No worries.
Get your votes in. We'll close the voting soon. to determine which of us kissed Muhammad Ali. That's very interesting. All right, I'm gonna give it a close now. Let's see where you guys are at with this. Marco, why don't you read off those results?
Still loading on my end. Hold on.
Okay, same. Could Marco go a minute with Ali though? It depends on how you mean.
It's true.
Can I run away for a minute?
Yeah. I mean, I can float like a butterfly for a long time. Like, just let me.
But I'm gonna hit the mat like a trunk.
Marco gonna get stung like a bee.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude.
Like,
Okay, all right. So which pal kissed Muhammad Ali? Marco at 14%, Tyler at 38%, and Sean at 47%.
Because I'm black, right?
Wow.
I see
absolutely.
you. I see you.
Absolutely.
I see you. Well, here's the story about how I kissed Muhammad Ali. I saw him after Ali Frazier, and I just felt so amorous towards him. And I was maybe 5-6 years old, but I couldn't believe just the masculinity. And I was so drawn into it that no, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna be like, wow.
Nah, it was me. I was drawn into the masculinity. No,
pheromones.
It was me actually. My mom got a glove signed for my dad. And then Ali, I guess, saw me and just picked me up as a child. I was like 3 and just planted me on the lips.
That's awesome.
That's a little weird. It's cool. It's cool. Like awesome. My first kiss was Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Hey,
great.
Fun fact.
Listen. That's I bring it up with all my dates, and then they quickly say next. But yeah, that was a strange one. It was a strange one. Cool though.
No.
Probably the most famous athlete of all time.
Yes.
I kissed a guy who barely knows about sports.
Listen, I mean, you don't need to know sports. You got kissed by Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
bro.
civil rights icon. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
That's hilarious.
There's a picture of it somewhere. It's like a picture of a picture though, so it's kind of blurry, but it's somewhere.
Need that.
Awesome.
Oh, I didn't like the way you said that.
No, hold on.
I don't need a Marcos minute for that one. I was a kid.
Hold on.
Need that.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I'm going to show you a true Ultimate Spider-Man on this one. Ew! Stop it.
Thwip.
Oh my god.
All right, let's spin this again. How many more do we have, Sean?
So we've done 4.
Okay, so we've
got 3 to go.
4, yeah. Okay, we're gonna. All right, it's a Marcos minute again.
Ooh, on what?
I would like to hear a Marcos minute on your dating philosophy.
Oh. All right. So, for me, straight to the point. If you're not asking a girl out in the first 3 messages, you're doing a bad job. You have to open up. You have to say, "Hey, I'm excited," and try to figure like where are we gonna meet. And you lead that. You lead the first date. You be kind. You be courteous. And really, it's about getting to know the individual. One of my philosophies also, I never kiss on the first date. That's not a thing I do. I'm here to get to know you. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to get in your pants like that. And I think the other thing also is just like to be really curious, because I'm trying to learn about you as a person. Always ask questions. And it could be as simple as like, you got family, you have siblings, or hey, what keeps you up at night? That's it.
And that's when he turns around and goes, "It's about to be me." Like, listen, I saw what you did there, bro. Like, I felt it. I like, listen, I gotta tell y'all, only someone with absolute riz can sit there and be like, "I'm not trying to hook up on the first night because I gotta fight it off all the time. I'm not trying to. It just happens."
Just happens,
It just
dude.
happens.
It's build up. It's build up. That's what you need. You reel them in.
My man.
Huh.
Good job, Tyler. Good job.
Huh. No, you don't kiss on the first date. Jeez.
Never.
Man, I'm going downtown.
Well, can I tell you a story about that?
No, you don't got
Hey,
another minute.
oh!
No, you don't got another
You
minute.
gotta spin that damn wheel, brother.
There's
Let's
like this
see where
weird
it
like
went.
nipple that kind of keeps it from stopping, and I'm kind of have to like milk it to make it. Never mind. A revelation. Ooh, the age of revelation is here.
A revelation. Okay, so what we'll do is, please, Marco, put up a poll, and the winner, the person that the pals at home choose, and I want all four of us in this poll.
Ooh.
The person the pals choose has to give a revelation right here. It doesn't have to be personal; it could be comics related, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay.
A revelation,
Like a secret. Or something you haven't told on the show.
Yeah,
something
yeah. It doesn't have to be
possibly
that
more.
crazy.
Okay. All
but
right,
yeah.
okay.
Shadow Walker, the note taking is crazy. Entertain me, Sean. You need dating advice, and you should have asked Tyler. He was able to get a kiss from Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Yo, you
Although he
told
might
him,
have
bro?
given me shaken baby syndrome at the time. Sorry.
Well,
Oh my god, I don't.
that's
date.
awful.
I know,
That's
that was
awful.
that was bad. That was a bad punchline.
Oh my god! And it keeps coming. It keeps going. Oh my god! So bad.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I
Jackson.
just got that.
Yeah, sometimes that's how my jokes work, Marco. Sometimes people in the chat say, "Hey, I got your joke. Thanks for it," and then nobody on the actual panel gets it.
Jack said, thanks to whoever gifted a membership. I've been trying to become a comics enjoyer for a few years. Found the pals at the start of that, but fell off the hobby. Well, thank you, Jack. I'm glad you choose to hang out with us. And I think this is a great place to be, no matter where you are in your comics journey. And you should really join the Discord, because if you have questions about comics and things you want to know to help ease in to becoming a core fan of comics, I think the Discord will keep you involved for sure.
Just sent that link through.
Perfect.
All
All right. I'm going to end the poll. And,
it's you.
I am the winner, I guess.
The pal said, we know enough about Marco.
Word, yeah.
Yeah, he got no votes.
Yeah.
I am shocked that you guys didn't vote for Victor, because he's the guest here. But apparently,
hey.
Listen, we got to spin that wheel again. It might be you. I got 44% of the vote, so I do have to share a revelation. Okay. The first time that I read the Phoenix Saga, the Dark Phoenix Saga, as the lover of Jean Grey that I am, she's my favorite comic book character. The first time that I read the Dark Phoenix Saga was for the book club we did on the Dark Phoenix Saga.
Wow.
Which was 2018?
That was probably like, I want to say that was within the last 5 years.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's
wild.
I'm a fraud. I'm
Fake fan.
No. Your fandom was real. Just you didn't have to base it on anything. It was faithful. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're right. I have a high level of faith in Jean Grey. But you know what, too? I felt like I had seen it so many times, like the TV shows, the movies. I was like, oh, I know it already. I don't need it. I literally felt like I knew it. And when I read it, it was like, yeah, I know all this. But
ready for another spin?
Let's
do it.
John, do you still have the trade that I gave you?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Victor, I found a signed, I think Claremont, I'm forgetting Byrne.
Yeah. Wow.
Trade.
That's awesome.
All right, we got highlight a book.
Highlight a book. All right. So let's let Victor.
Yeah, let's let Victor.
Victor, why don't you highlight a book that you recently read and really enjoyed?
Oh wow. Specifically comics? Is that the goal here?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. What I'm going to pick out is Battle Beast. Obviously, I'm a big Invincible fan. Big love of Robert Kirkman's work, but Invincible definitely had me. Him and Ryan Otley, game changer for my entire experience as a fan. And getting to see Battle Beast kind of retrospectively come back and fill in some gaps has been one of the greatest things ever, because I've missed that series so much. I'm such a diehard fan that it's kind of where I first learned that I was possibly a pretty good writer back in the days of the forum pages, where I would predict what was going to happen in the books. And I actually got kicked off because they were like, you're ruining the story for people because you're predicting correctly what is going to happen. And I'm like, oh, I thought this was a cool place to do that. And they're like, no, you're like spoiling it. How do you know this? And I'm like, it's where I would go as a writer. It's where I would go. So getting any of that feeling back and watching Battle Beast be Battle Beast is one of the greatest things ever. So yeah, I definitely got to give some love to that series.
Hell yeah, it's very, very good, very good.
So
And by
much
the
fun.
way, for those of you who didn't clock it, Mr. Dandridge has an Invincible cutout behind him, which is super cool.
Yes.
And I see that Omni Man down there.
Oh yeah. I got some Omni Man over there. I've got and I've got like there's an Invincible poster over here. And in 2020, was it 22, 23? I can't remember which year. I actually had a scholarly paper that I co-wrote with Dr. Scott Jordan of Illinois State University, doing comics and coherence, and we used Invincible as the breakdown for psychological understandings of comics and how storytelling works, and how Invincible was sincerely that thing. So my very first scientifically scholarly published paper was about Invincible.
What do you, Tyler? Spin the wheel, please.
Yeah.
What do you not do? Like you do everything.
When you say you're the hardest working man in comics, are you allowed to have something that you don't do?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. How often do you miss podcasts for Nookie?
Oh my god,
Ah,
all the time.
constantly.
Oh my goodness. When he's not podcasting.
All right, easy one. Water time.
Oh,
You guys got a drink?
water break.
I don't have
finished
water.
mine.
I have Coke.
I finished mine.
Drink
I'll
what
take
you
the
got.
Oh, it's freaking paper straws.
Ill.
Oh,
Got a nice
the
seltzer.
worst.
I like the earth, but man, those bamboo straws are the where it's at, not the paper ones.
At
There
what
you go.
expense?
Chat. Take a sip of that water. That Coca-Cola, whatever you got by you. We've been at this for a minute. A lot of you been here for a while. You're running on fumes.
One more, Sean?
One more. This is such a janky wheel.
No, it goes too fast. It's got like a weird rubber thing I gotta fix.
Spin it again. Water break.
We
did
just
that.
drank.
We need some beer. Beer break.
At this point, yeah,
Be
it's
ossified by the end of the show.
revelation time.
Okay. Throw up a poll one more time, including all four of us, and let the audience decide who they want a revelation from. Carter M says, Cold Brew Gang, where you at? Yeah, I mean, look, we start this show at 10:15. So if we get up on here and start drinking.
I drank mine already. Yeah, I had a nitro.
Ready.
That's why I disappeared for 2 minutes in between the episode.
Oh my goodness. Lucas says he doesn't clock in and he does what he loves. That's life right there. That's in reference to Victor Dance.
It's so true. So true.
I love that for you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
Coconut water break, says Harris. Good for you. Catherine says shots. That way Sean agrees to cosplay. I could be, again, ossified drunk. I will not agree to cosplay.
Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
All right, let's who they pick. Let's see who we got here.
Steve, don't need any more Marco revelations.
Oh, dang.
today.
There we go. Well, they want a Victor revelation instead.
Yeah, Victor.
All right. All right. So I got to tell a story with this one.
Okay.
In 2023, I was at Fan Expo Denver, and like the week before, maybe 2 weeks before, we had just had Fan Expo Dallas, and I was doing a Shamik Moore panel, and I go out and talk to the crowd, and I accidentally call Denver Dallas.
Ooh.
And in order to make it up to them, I'm like, what do y'all want me to do? Somebody goes, do a cartwheel. And I go, okay, I will do a cartwheel. Bust a cartwheel, big fun, haha. 2024. Someone asked me, I'm back at Denver, and I go, what's your favorite show? And I go, well, funny enough, last year, I screwed up, called you guys Dallas, y'all made me do a cartwheel, and it just kind of stands out for me. And they're like, oh, I remember that, I was there, do another cartwheel. It becomes the chant of the weekend, do a cartwheel, do a cartwheel, do a cartwheel. So I end up doing a cartwheel every day of the show, and on Saturday of the show, I am finishing up a panel with Rosario Dawson. And normally when I work with her, I escort her off the stage, and I don't this time. And she's looking at me like, what's going on? Like, what's up? And I was like, I have to stay behind. I have to do a cartwheel. And she's like, I want to see you do that. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, please stop. And she's like, no, I told him I watch you do a cartwheel. So she does. She like literally takes my hat, because I'm wearing one of my hats, puts on my hat while I do this cartwheel. It's a whole thing. She's laughing. She thinks it's amazing, hilarious. She goes, next time I'll do one with you. But she was wearing a dress at the time. So she's like, I'm not going to do that with you. And I'm like, okay, well, next time we'll do a cartwheel together. She's like, absolutely. I don't think anything of that. I think that's just, conversational. She's just being sweet. About a month later, we're at Fan Expo Chicago. I get assigned her again. When I see her backstage, she's like, so we're doing a cartwheel? And I'm like, what? Are you serious right now? Are you joking? She's like, no, we're doing a cartwheel. And I'm like, okay, you weren't supposed to remember that, number one. But okay, you said if we do it again, you're going to do one too. She's like, I'm absolutely going to do one. And I'm like, okay, sweet. So I go out, I do a cartwheel. She does a cartwheel. We end up in Us Weekly magazine with her doing a cartwheel, and I'm making this face like this. And the reason why I'm making that face is because when she did her cartwheel facing me, her shirt went up and she flashed me. So that happened. Yeah, that's my revelation. In that magazine, I'm making a face, which is caught, like it's captured, it's photographed, was published.
I see it online.
She totally flashed me.
I shared the link.
Yeah, you just search Rosario Dawson cartwheel, and you are mortified.
Yeah, she flashed me. So.
Yo, you know what's so crazy is that I already knew that story. And I'm like, all right, bro, what is the revelation? And you knocked me out with that. I did not expect that. Yeah. You are officially the only human I have ever known who has seen Rosario Dawson's breasts in person. Hats off to you for that.
You know Cory Booker?
That's crazy.
He said I'm the only one. I'm the only one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that, like, literally the reason why I made that face is like her shirt, like it was a very flowy shirt and it falls up and I'm like, oh, and like totally caught me off guard. And yeah.
I was more surprised to see you without the hat.
That's because I had just done the cartwheel.
I know.
Like, I literally just done the cartwheel myself, so I hadn't put my hat back on.
Do you still do them? Is this still a bit?
Yes. Okay. So not only is it like, so we just did Fan Expo Denver this past July, and yes, it was a thing. It became a thing so much through my clothing line, Geeking. I made a T-shirt that says "Cartwheel," and
Nice.
It's one of my best-selling T-shirts. So yeah.
Was there any did she acknowledge? Did you acknowledge that any?
So she told me backstage that she thought it might happen because she's like, well, I'm wearing this really like light shirt. And I'm like, nah, whatever. Like, just tuck it in. You'll be fine. And she's like, yeah, you're right. And so she did aim to tuck it in. But I guess when we were out there, it happened anyway. And I was like, oh my God. But she had thought about it pre-game. That's why she did the cartwheel facing me versus the crowd. And I'm like,
smart move.
Oh,
Smart move.
Yeah. Also backstage was her new boyfriend. And so I got to meet her boyfriend after she flashed me.
Yeah.
So,
firmest handshake you've gotten, I bet.
oh my God. You talk about bring it in. Oh, yes, sir. Hi.
The shoulder grab, I bet. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yo, that's some Paul level shit right there. And the thing too is like, listen, Victor, he's a big guy,
I got some
man.
shoulders. I got some shoulders.
You got some shoulders. Honestly, the fact you could do a cartwheel.
Thank you.
The pals have not been known to be the most the highest physical acumen.
Hey, speak
we lost one because of a backflip.
Wow. Listen,
my question would have been, hey brother, can you fight? That would have been my question.
Hey, I didn't listen. He was in a black suit. I wasn't.
Nope.
I didn't want those. Listen, because not only did that happen. So it's 2024. The Democratic National Convention was like the following week in Chicago. So there's too much of a chance that he was just riled up over light skins anyway. So, because Cory Booker was going to be there the next week.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I didn't want that smoke.
Yeah.
I did not. No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
He was too busy getting his Hamilton speech ready.
Yeah. No, I didn't want none of that. So.
Wow. Well, we learned something new about Victor's experience, a life experience that we are all jealous of. Another reason to be jealous of Victor. Amazing.
Thank you.
And I want to say again, before we play our new game, that's how we're going to close out the show today. I want to say again, Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics, Vantage in-house. If you want to find him on the internet, he's got a Kickstarter going right now, which is 150% successful, which is amazing to say.
Thank you.
So proud of you and your success.
Appreciate
And if you
that.
guys want more Victor, get him on social media. What's the website? Vantage in House.
VantageInHouse.com is all things. If you Google who is the hardest working man in comics, I'm the guy that shows up.
It's crazy. Cool. Not Bendis, not Kirkman, not Alan Moore.
Yeah, no.
Alan Moore's
Apparently,
not
if
on
you
the
ask
internet.
ChatGPT, it'll tell you that too, which I think is really weird. Like that's how permeated it is. AI even is like, nah, it's that dude.
Cool.
So I'll take it.
All right. You guys have been patient. You've been amazing. Thank you for this episode. We are going to close it out with the greatest of all time game. This is a new game. We're trying it out live. I think it'll work. We kind of tested it beforehand. It looks great. Here's how it works. All four of us and variations of the four of us are going to be in a randomizer. Whichever or whatever combination of us is chosen by the randomizer will then have to argue for the next phase, which is a randomizer that features over 150 different characters.
Wow.
At the moment, they're DC. And your responsibility will be to argue why that character is the greatest of all time, be they a hero or a villain.
Okay.
If it lands on two people, we'll do 90 seconds. So 45 for one, 45 for the other. If it lands on one of us, we'll do 60 seconds.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
It could land on all four though, Sean. I did every permutation.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll spice it up.
It could be 1, 2, 3, or 4. Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right, let me roll this. Let's see what we get.
I wish I could see it.
It's just Marco.
Oh no! I was gonna say, will I see
All
it?
right, no, this is what I wanted, to be honest. Oh, all right, Marco, are you ready to see which character you have to argue as the greatest character of all time?
Let's go. Let's go. We got it.
We're cycling through them. We're cycling through them. We're cycling through them.
My live's too slow. I can't see.
Perpetua.
Do you even know Perpetua?
Look at his face. He doesn't.
Perpetua, dude.
Get the Marco's minute ready, Sean.
Come on. You got this. You got this.
Why is Perpetua noted DC Comics character Perpetua, Marco? As he quickly Wikipedia's.
Googles.
Dude, I'm trying to remember what metal, right?
God.
Yes.
No.
Oh my God.
No.
Well,
She was in death metal.
She was in death metal. Death metal.
Death
Yeah.
metal.
Yeah.
Okay. Perpetua. Okay. All right.
All right. You have 1 minute starting now, brother.
Dude, Perpetua, she was there from the beginning, okay? It's in the name. Perpetua, right? So she's going to be there before anything else that existed, anything else that you could even think of. The spirit, this huge, or not the spirit, the specter, this huge force before that. She's a creator of the entirety of the DC universe, an architect. And so that deems 1, status, 2, power level, because that's what we care about in comics. And 3, she's just cool. Look at her design. She got that dress. She got this cool headgear. And she's incredibly powerful. Can you believe she's from the 6th dimension? I thought there were only 4. Joke's on you. Now, she was in part of this incredible run, Death Metal. Scott Snyder, if you haven't read it, I really recommend you should, because you're going to learn a lot.
Is that Scott or is that Josh?
Oh my God. It's Scott.
It's Scott.
Was this Scott?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was mostly in Scott's Justice League run. Yeah.
Got you.
Oh my God. Joke's on you. That was the funniest line.
I like how you spent 10 of those seconds talking about her headpiece.
You got it, dude. It's where the power comes from.
I love it.
Oh my God. Chat, tell us now. How fun was that? I want the live reaction. Do you fuck with that? Was that fun?
Right now I have 150 DC characters. I was going to do Marvel, but I didn't have time because I would go crazy on that. There are some weird ones in this. Perpetua was one of the weird ones I put on this list.
Who's another weird one that you qualify as weird that you put on that list?
Dr. Occult.
Jeez.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, good one.
You could have argued better for Dr. Occult.
As
I
the
think so.
greatest of all time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put up a poll, and the question is, are you convinced? Are you convinced by the argument that Marco made?
Okay.
I would be.
But my favorite
Listen.
part of the argument, though, was Sean just laughing at it 5 seconds in.
I wouldn't kiss her on the first date.
There you go.
I'll just
There
get that
you go.
out the gate.
She's 1 billion times bigger than you.
It doesn't matter. I have my it's my philosophy. That's where I stand.
Mhm.
Universal short king. Cool.
The last poll of the show is up now. Please vote. I need to know if you think Marco sold you on Perpetua being the greatest villain of all time.
C.W. Gordon says that deconvinced me.
It's not convinced. Rude.
Reversal.
And Marco's like, is it that character? Like,
Yeah, like he wasn't even sure who we were talking.
no. Imagine if we put Marvel on here too. Like at least DC.
Forget about it. I have some knowledge. Marvel's a whole.
Yeah. Tell me why Rage from the New Warriors is the greatest of all time.
I mean, because he is.
Oh, I can talk about
When
it.
you
sure.
got that. When you got that mask, like,
Yeah.
come on, move over, Billy Batson. Like,
Yeah,
this is how you
exactly.
really.
Looking like King from Tekken.
Hell yeah. Mike Hank said she's the forbidden snow bunny. Dude, that ain't no bunny. That ain't no bunny. Oh my goodness.
That's
Jay says
hilarious.
Dr. Occult, bro is in Swamp Thing. Marco would milk it.
I don't want you milking anything Swamp Thing related. Ugh, gross.
Oh, Phenomenal AC Perpetua, smash or pass.
That's not. Is it? That's how deep we are into the show.
That's that's outside of our purview.
That's
Phenomenal
funny.
AC says not convinced. If she was really the GOAT, Marco would have pulled the hit and run. Unbelievable. All right, I'm gonna end the poll. These results don't make any fucking sense.
What?
55% of you lost your fucking minds and said yes. Marco did convince you.
Good job. Good job.
Perpetua's the GOAT.
Good job.
I'd argue overwhelmingly.
And he didn't even use like the easiest example. Perpetua was under the bed that he was hiding under and did not rat him out. That's top tier.
That's
okay?
a real one.
That's a real one. She was there because she's everywhere. She's been there from the beginning, and she didn't rat him out. She's the best.
She didn't let the bed creak.
Nope. She held it.
Marco was too busy. He was in the 6th dimension for this.
Yeah.
Also, he's like, I thought there was only 4, when notoriously there is a 5th dimension in DC.
Makes you spit like comes from the 5th dimension. I wasn't gonna say it. Like,
It's almost the most popular dimension.
Well, guys, we have had a blast here. Hopefully you enjoyed the new look, new feel, new vibe Comics Pals, largely the same as you're used to, with a few tweaks and differences that hopefully make the show very entertaining for you. Next week, unfortunately, we won't have Victor with us, but we will have Gavin Guidry, and we're going to be talking more Ultimate Universe. We'll be talking more Ultimate Spider-Man, X-Men. We're going to introduce the Ultimates into the mix and get into the stark differences between Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Millar.
ooh. It's gonna be good stuff.
Sean, did we get to all the patron powers?
Thank you for the reminder. Thank you. Before we close out, I do want to say thank you to a few more people who we missed earlier. Steve, Swarm, Canaris, Panda v Panda, Ted Wong, Blur, Jekyll Jose, Scripture, the Wardens of the Word, Amin, the Almighty Perez, Houston, the Century Kid Murphy, Peter, the Living Lightning Electrics, Lucas, Heatwave Holdner, Young Dende, the Woody, the Fey Fighter, Shalom, Paladin, Warburg, and can't forget Cosmic November and Owl Shogunate. Thank you all so much for all of your support. It means the world to us. You guys have been amazing today. We will see you we'll see you first Monday at 1 p.m. for Pals Previews. We'll see you again on Wednesday for our Tilly Walden interview at 6 p.m. Then again on Thursday at 8 p.m. for Pals Pulls, the new start time. And then before you know it, we're right back here on Saturday for the main show.
Thank
Thank you
Perpetua.
all. Thank Perpetua. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you to Victor for hanging out with us. And we will see you next week. Take care, guys.
Bye.